Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here, and welcome to episode 11 of H.A.M Radio Live. As always, I'm joined by the illustrious, the wonderful, the happy Paul Lombardo.
That's me.
Hell yeah.
Everybody.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's been a very happy week, but a very stressful week for me. As you know, nobody in the chat knows, but my girlfriend's visiting from Canada. She got here on Sunday. So I had to drive all the way, like 2 hours to the airport, pick her up.
Right.
Came back, and I'm still doing like schoolwork in between that. And I had to go to my final on Tuesday. So it's been kind of hectic, but it's been fun. It's been
absolutely
enjoyable.
I'm happy for you, man, and I'm happy for us. We got a lot to talk about this week. I'm with you. It has been a hell week. This has been hell week for podcasting. I have done a podcast every single day for 6 days straight now. So I am as warm as can be right now. There will be no seasonal rust for me, I don't think. It's been a lot though, so I'm just excited to kind of kick my feet up for a little bit of ham radio here. As always, we're available every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/MrMattyPlays. We're also on podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Those links are in the description of the video, or you can just search us up over on Ham Radio Live or Mr. Matty Plays on any of those apps. Just remember periods when you search Ham Radio Live. As always with the show, we also do call-ins. We like to talk with the audience and chat with them. We just ask that when you show up, you come prepared with a question or a topic of discussion, just to make sure everything flows nice and smoothly. We always want to remind the audience of that. So do come prepared. But other than that, I don't think I have any other housekeeping. It's a pretty simple week as we really wind down for the holidays here, but we do have one last big bang to go over. So do you want to get into what games we've been playing, or is there anything else you want to toss out there?
Well, like I said, I haven't really been playing a lot of games. Been busy with my girlfriend, and I've been busy with school. But I was able today, especially, I got a lot of Halo Infinite in the campaign, and
how far are you?
I'm really probably I did. I guess this wouldn't be a spoiler. I did the tower.
Okay.
Like I think it's
three missions in. I think 3 or 4 missions in.
Yeah, so I'm not very far, but I did all the side quests, or not side quests, all the like side content in that first starting area.
Nice.
Anything that's on the map, I did.
Okay.
And I'm really liking it so far. What I like the most, I think, are the 3 characters that you're introduced to. Yeah, obviously you have Chief, and then I don't think that one of them has a name. It's like he has like digits. He's like the Pelican.
Echo.
Yeah, Echo. And then the weapon. And immediately I can tell like the writing for this game is just kind of on. And I remember I didn't play 4 and 5, so I don't know how much credibility that gives me. But Matt, I was watching you play it in our Discord stream, and it just like Chief didn't really seem very Chief-like to me.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like, the dialogue they were writing for him wasn't on par with what I know as Chief. But like going into Infinite, like he has these, every time he speaks, it's like very quick, very simple, with like a dash of like humor in it. Like, I kind of like they made him a little more cocky, I've noticed, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's like my favorite aspect of it so far. I'm hoping we get some environmental variety in here, but I don't think we're gonna get. I mean,
praying
it seems
for
like
you, man.
one big Halo ring, but I'm enjoying it a lot, and that's pretty much all I played this week. Because been busy.
Right. Yeah. It's awesome to hear that you're enjoying it, because a lot of the audience has been enjoying it. I remember posting a tweet, and it was launch day, so I knew what kind of audience I was playing with. The hype is there. I'll be curious to see how the conversation carries on as people get to more, we'll say, spoilery territory. But I'm glad to see initial opinions have really matched the press has said here, and that Halo truly is back. And I'm looking forward to doing a campaign replay, because when I reviewed it, as you know, I was like, I don't get any achievements for this. So like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to beat the game, do some of the side content, but I'm not going all in, because I'm going to save that for when I do have the achievements there. So I purchased it. I got my 6,000 Microsoft reward points, and so that's waiting for me. Probably this weekend I will start that back up.
Digital or physical or what?
I went digital because of the disc. I know you went physical.
At that point, what's the difference though? I gotta ask.
Because literally just the Microsoft reward points. You're totally right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got reward points. Well, how much is 6,000? Like $60?
$6. So I made a little profit.
That's how much the box is worth. Like I got, like the box looks sleek, and you can get a steelbook if you go through like I think Best Buy. I didn't go there. I don't like the Best Buy.
That changes things. That
Yeah,
$6
but
certainly isn't worth it now.
the physical Halo Infinite slander is not warranted.
Yeah.
Right? I get the argument, but if you're buying it physically, it's arguably the same as digitally in the situation
Yeah.
based on the
Yeah.
circumstance.
No, you're not wrong. Just as like a physical collector, I buy physical with the idea of like I will put this in my console, and if I'm offline, this will work. And with Halo, it's like, well, you need to download the whole thing. So it's kind of messy. I was reading a whole article on it and doing a retro rebound video on it because I'm like, this is actually kind of relevant, like, the preservation of games. Because I think of, my head goes to, I don't mean to always be Mr. Worst Case Scenario, but I do go to the idea of like, when Xbox was down and out and about to kill off their brand with the Xbox One, I'm like, what if they have another catastrophic brand? Like, then does the Halo Infinite campaign just disappear if they say like, all right, Xbox is done? I know they're riding high now, but they were riding high during the 360. So it's where my head goes. But yeah, at the end of the day, is there a difference between physical and digital now? No, but that's where my problem lies. But I'm glad to hear you're really liking it, and I'm curious how that will develop or go down the hill as you get deeper in it, because you're already looking for environmental diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as if I wouldn't be if I didn't know like the trailers going in that there wasn't a lot, and the multiplayer maps there wasn't a lot. But yeah, I enjoy the environment, but I'm just thinking if this is like the whole map, the whole game, I'm only here. That's gonna be annoying because I'm thinking like, I almost said Fallout 3. I think like Halo 3 when you have like that similar sort of ring area, but then it turns into like a snowy whatever, and then you actually have the ring itself where when you're on the Warthog run and you don't even see grass or anything, it's just metal.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I'm hoping we get some of that, but we'll see.
I will leave that for you and the audience to discover. I also, honestly, it's a rare time that I can say this, but I have not been gaming a lot either. It's been a pretty hellish week, not in a bad way, just it's been very busy. Editing up until like 2 a.m. twice this week now. So doing it so we can get some time off during the holidays. But otherwise, when I have been playing games, I've given all of my time to SMT5, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm about 44 hours into this now. I am in the second to last dungeon. I still love it. I think it's excellent. I really do. Everything about it. It's a simple turn-based RPG on the surface, but all of the mechanics it needs to get right, it does get right. So the growth in like the open area and the demon fusing, the tone from the music, it allows it all to flourish and flow a lot better because it's a game that's not really fighting with itself, and it's also not trying to reinvent the formula. It reinvents its own formula, but it's not going to change turn-based RPGs. But there are also some really cool mechanics that I think that Persona 6 could try to take a look at. And I think of like the openness.
Really?
Yeah, I think of like the openness of the world is something I would like to see Persona give a try to. I think of like, I love Persona 5 with all my heart, and same with 4. 4 I can excuse, but 5, like, those locations you go in are really tight, right? They're all like really small rooms, small cells. SMT5 is open world practically. It's multiple open world segments. And part of what works for it is we're looking at a game that is on the Switch, and since it's post-apocalyptic, you don't see a lot of sights. You'll see some buildings and stuff, but it's not a looker. But I think that's what helps the game, because you'll just see like a wiped out desert, and that's it, which adds to the atmosphere. But I think of Persona, which is more artsy, and if they opened up and you had like a full city to explore, what that would be like in the daily life system. So I hope they look at that. I think that would be really good for the game going forward to evolve it.
It's interesting to bring up because I could see Persona doing that, like a more open. I would say overworld, but if they're going into, I guess, the metaverse or whatever Persona 6's version of that would be, I don't know if I want to see an open world, because when I was looking at SMT, it did look good and very tone setting. It reminded me a lot of Nier Automata. But one thing I really liked about Persona 5 that wasn't in 4 because of like, I guess because of it was on the PS2 and then would it go to the Vita on Golden. I didn't like how Persona 4's dungeons were very linear and there wasn't a lot to them. But when in Persona 5, I stepped in a dungeon and it felt like every single palace, they're called palaces, right?
Yeah.
I felt like every palace was almost like a Sly Cooper infiltration. You know what I mean?
It's really well put. Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt very, very handcrafted, which a lot of JRPGs don't do. A lot of JRPGs, especially older ones, Even some newer ones like Octopath Traveler, their dungeons are very, very bland, linear, borrowing assets left and right. But you put it well, like it's very artsy in Persona 5. And if they step into open world, would that take away from what Persona does with their artsy dungeons? I don't know.
Right.
I hope not, but that'd be my concern if they do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, there is certainly a strength to the containment of Persona. So they would have to be careful with that. But if it's like the daily life, that's the part I was like, oh, let's see if they open that up and then leave the dungeons like that tight, handcrafted type of experience that we love.
Like a Grand Theft Auto open world.
I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of wild. You can get in your car and drive around. Think of that. That'd be wild. So,
or if they did a college, like a campus life,
yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. That would be a perfect fit for it, because then you could, instead of getting in a car, it would be like Bully. I don't know if you played Bully, but it'd be like that where you just like have a skateboard, a bike. I mean, let's be honest, that would be hype for Persona fans. So
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that and the Magatsui system I really like a lot in SMT5. It's where you can just like you build up this bar, and you can eventually do something crazy with your turn. There's a ton of different abilities that you can unlock through these demons, and they're all like game changers. So it's about like when you want to use them. And Persona 5 kind of already has that with like the show times and these all-out attacks. So I don't know if it needs that more, but it works for SMT5 because it's a really tough game, so it's rewarding when you get to that point. But yeah, I hope that in this case they actually borrow something from it. So that's really what I've been playing. Nothing else at all. So hopefully that'll change next week.
We have a super chat from Adam H.A.M, and Adam says, "Happy Friday, Ham fam. My friends, I have 2 questions to ask. 1, will Sony passing on Hellblade be a big miss for Sony? And 2, what game not being at the awards have you blue balled? Have a good night." It's a good question.
That is a good question, especially that second one. Yeah, you want to get us kickstarted here?
Yeah, I think Hellblade, I haven't played Senua's Sacrifice is the first one, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I do Hellblade Senua's Saga looks like amazing. It looked like a movie trailer. I thought we were seeing a movie trailer.
Yeah, we were all deceived.
It was phenomenal. Honestly, if you showed me that game, I would have assumed like immediately like PlayStation exclusive, just because of how they were presenting it, you know, like over the shoulder, almost on the rails. Like it was very cinematic. It reminded me of God of War, a lot of God of War, because you didn't have any camera cuts. The camera was always, you know, panning around, and there was a lot going on, and it really did look like a movie. Will Sony be missing by passing on it? I'm not sure. I don't think so. But I do think that game's worth giving your attention to based on what we saw. I don't think that's hard gameplay that we saw, though. I think it's very like, I don't know,
what the cinematic set piece almost. Like it's not cinematics, but it's a set piece.
Set piece is perfect word. Like that's not gonna. It doesn't exemplify what the game is gonna look like at all. But it's definitely good looking. And you want to take number 2 since I did one?
Yeah, let's do it. What game not being at the Game Awards has blue ball? I gave you blue balls. Avowed 100%. That was one that I was like taken to the moon, man. I was literally going ham for Avowed to be
hyped for that,
because not even just hype alone, but like when we were streaming it, I was so convinced that it was going to happen, because I was looking at the Xbox Newswire and Obsidian was like, yeah, we'll show you Avowed gameplay soon. They said this at E3, and I'm like, what is soon now then if it's not at the Game Awards? So that's the one that gave me blue balls. That was a tough one, because I was like, yeah, it's got to be. Like, it's got to be ready. But now I know when they show it, we'll see a pretty definitive look at it. I think the good of that, though, as much as I really want to see Avowed, the reason I'm not bitching up a storm about it is because, you know, I think that, let's say it is coming out in 2023, like it's rumored to, then what we see in the end of 2021 can be drastically different. So I get it was probably a long shot anyway, but when they said they were showing us something soon, I didn't think that would mean 1 year later. So, you know, unfortunate.
For me, this is definitely an odder pick, but when I heard Atlas was going to be there, I really wanted to see Persona 3 released on modern consoles, released on Steam or whatever, or even Persona 4 Golden physical coming back. But instead we got Arena Ultimax, which I haven't played yet, so that's exciting. But Persona 3 still just being stuck on whatever like console it came out on, PSP, or emulator. That's just like, it's just free money for them. You know,
I
like
agree.
that's just how I see it. Like they can just cash in. I don't know how much work goes into porting it, or if they're planning something bigger, like a genuine remake. Excuse me. But that was definitely my blue balls, mainly because I wasn't really expecting much going in. Besides that,
Yeah.
I think the Lord that we didn't see Hog Leg. That
Yeah.
was something I didn't want to
Yeah, that's
see.
right, Soul. That's right, Soul. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were, you know, it was honestly like a catch-22, right? Like, Soul got his Sonic. Soul's a good friend of ours. He loves Sonic, and he's really excited for Hogwarts Legacy. And we said, like, look, if Hogwarts shows up, it can't look good. It just can't look good. We can't allow that. So the good news is it didn't show up at all. So he was feeling a little down last night. We were like, all right, let's go. Love to see that.
And apparently, I don't know if you saw, and actually, I don't know if this is in our script. Let me check real quick. But Warner Brothers apparently pulled it from the Game
Yeah, I
Awards.
saw
Like, it
that
was supposed
report.
to be
Yeah.
there. I don't know if that's true or not, but
It
the
just
fact it got replaced by that quick,
Yeah.
easy trailer kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I get it, right? The sequence is weird. It makes sense, but to me, what's strange about that is you pull a game that should be closer to ready for the one that looks very far from being ready. What's the logic behind that? Like, to me, I would just take it as more so like Hogwarts Legacy isn't nearly ready enough to be shown yet, which is a bad sign.
I almost wonder if it's avoiding controversies, because you know that game.
Yeah.
It's very controversial.
Yeah.
And we already had the Activision stuff going on. So, you know, maybe they're just playing it a little safe.
Yeah. Good point. I'm sure the rumor is PlayStation will have a state of play or something before the end of the year. I don't know when they're going to do it. If we got Christmas in about 15 days as we record this, so PlayStation better get on it, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. And for me, it's like I'm sitting here planning my what's it called? I'm sitting here planning like a vacation. But if PlayStation throws something together, that doesn't matter because that's KOTOR season, right? Yeah, like
you're going back to the computer.
I'm hopping back in because like that's KOTOR season. Like that, whenever PlayStation does something, now I need to really be on it because I'm like, when are you guys going to show a new KOTOR trailer? I think it'll be a while for that, but still. Let's get some tap-ins rolling now, shall we?
Yeah, we got Mercury, AS13, and Sean Mason. I'm just going to bring Sean in. Okay. Sean's a mainstay, and we'll bring Mercury right after.
All right, sounds good.
Sean, how's it going?
It's going well.
Hello, Sean. Welcome again.
Hey, how are you?
Appreciate you showing up again. Hood on this time, all right? Oh, hood's off.
Oh, no, taking it off. Taking it off. It's a school rule, no hoods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Sean, is it bad that I used to wear hats all the time? And, you know, even though they were like no hats, do you have a no hats rule in your school?
Yeah, there's no hats, no hoods. So we try to enforce it, right? So we enforce it. So, like, I don't agree with the rule, but it's the rule, so I enforce it.
Yes.
But it's very, like, some teachers don't, so then it gets very confusing, and it's not fair to the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we actually had a huge staff meeting on Wednesday about, like, really cracking down on the rules. We have to start walking our kids to lunch. I'm like, what are we, in elementary school again?
Wow.
Because they can't handle, like,
ridiculous.
the hallways. Right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So, Sean, what's on your mind, man?
All right, so it wasn't too crazy of a week this week, but
good. No news is good news. Good.
Yeah. But I did get, with the release of Halo, I did notice that I saw that a lot of my students were playing Halo, and I'm like, this is crazy because, when I was in middle school, Halo 3 came out, and that was like a huge deal. Everyone was like, oh my God, it's Halo.
Right.
And no one, asking the kids about Video Game Club over the last few years, no one really knew anything about Halo. They're like, oh yeah, Halo, it's some first-person shooter, not really a good game, and it's really captured, the young mind. So I think that's really good for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I have a funny story. Is that, well, not really a story, but it's a funny thing was we had this huge essay due in my honors class, my challenge class, due yesterday on Thursday. And I'm looking through them, and I noticed one kid didn't turn in. This is an honors kid. So I pull him out in the hallway, and I'm like, hey, like, why didn't you do your essay? We've been working on it for a couple weeks now, step by step. And he's like, Mr. Mason, I'm sorry, I just didn't really have time. I'm like, oh, we worked a lot on it in class. Like, what's going on? Like, do you need an extension? He's like, I probably need an extension. I go, okay, that's fine. You're going to lose some points, though. You are in the challenge. This is the honors class. He goes, like, so why did you need the extension? He goes, the Halo beta came out, and I was playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer all the time, and then the campaign just came out, so I've been playing the campaign a lot. And I go, I'm sitting there laughing in my head. I'm like, this
I
is
respect the honesty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like,
do
I'm
too.
like-
I wouldn't have done that.
well, he is an honors kid, so you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting there like, you know what? That's a valid excuse, son. You know, I'm a gamer too. I understand. I've been playing the multiplayer as well. The campaign's awesome. So I'm just gonna say you have until Monday. I go, do not play any of the campaign until after you do the essay.
Yeah.
And then I sent an email home to his parents saying, do not let him play the campaign
Oh,
until
you
he's
locked him
done
down.
with his
Oh,
essay.
Okay.
he's locked down. He's not playing his console.
Okay. All right.
Luckily, he turned it in today.
Good. Okay. Good. So
Love to
it
see
worked.
it.
Good.
Good
He's
kid.
probably going to enjoy the hell out of the campaign now. You earned the leisure time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I was really happy for him. But I'm just really happy overall that Halo's, taking over my middle school. When we had the video game club, that's all the kids could talk about was Halo.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So my question for you guys is, what's the wildest excuse you've ever come up with or someone's ever given you to avoid something?
Oh, man.
I've seen, dude, I still throw crazy excuses at my professors. Like I gotta think. There's been some wild ones, but I have some wild things that have happened in my life that sound like excuses, but they really weren't. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to think on this one, man.
Oh man. Well, see, the thing is like I'm a lot like your middle school student, and I'm talking about my humor level. I'm talking about my ability to just be like, yeah, you know what? Like, here's what actually happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this is how it is. I've always tried to be like that. But when it comes to teachers, Sean, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, I've definitely been guilty of a lie or three, just wiggle my way through an assignment. Look, here I am. Like, I guess it all worked out. Am I proud of it?
I think we all were like that when we were younger.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I think, did I ever tell the story of me stealing bobbleheads? Because I feel like that was a wild excuse. Because
wow.
Yeah, because when I was in second grade, I think I did tell this story, so you can stop me like partway through. But when I was in second grade, the lie here was that I just needed to go to the bathroom. But what I really wanted to do was just not be in class because, again, I was not a good student growing up. I was a good kid. I was not a good student. I think there's a difference there.
I mean, it's fine.
And so I was walking to, there would always be this school stand, and like I was just on a mean tear, right? Because like I was not like this growing up. Like I was a lot of things. I was not a thief though, but like something was just boiling within me. And I remember I was walking by the school stand, and I saw these little bobbleheads that were coming out of the cereal boxes sitting there, and they were a dime each. So what do? I swipe Pedro Martinez on my way to the bathroom. The reason why I'm telling this story is because my crazy lie, I wouldn't say it's insane, but it was more so just that I was always like, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the nurse. Oh, I don't feel well. And I kept just stretching the truth on my health just to get out of school.
You get those bobbleheads?
Yeah. And I would take the bobbleheads with me. But I was just on a big crime spree. I don't know what was going on with me there. I was in second grade. And I had a loving family. I still have a loving family. I don't know what occurred there though, but I think we're just born evil, and I needed some reshaping. And I eventually, straightened things out. But I remember like what would happen is because I kept lying about going to the bathroom and I'd end up going to the nurse or whatever, was like partway through, the teacher would start following me, making sure like, you're going to the bathroom. You're not going to the nurse. Like, you're not going home. Like, yeah, I would get tailed. I'd get the Assassin's Creed treatment. So probably not the best answer, but like, I think that to me it was wild that I was like I'm not a compulsive liar at all, but that was a stretch where I was just lying because I didn't like school. Like, I got really anxious at school. And so I was like, I need to go home. I just want to be home. And when I got home, everything slowed down. I was like, okay, we're good here. I can focus now. But for a while when I was in like second grade, man, it was bad. It was rough.
So for me, let's see. I was thinking, where I could dig into my education, where I can find some crazy excuses. And I remember one time in high school, when I was in high school, for the first 2 years, I attended my high school, and then I participated in this program called dual enrollment, where you can do like your last 2 years of high school in college and start taking college classes early, most importantly for free. So, free college for me was like win-win. And I had like an abundance of free time. I'm talking, I would go to class two days a week for maybe a maximum of 6 hours a week. And as a high schooler, that's a lot of free time on your hands. And
yes,
of course, I spent a lot of it gaming, as one would. my parents would get mad I'm gaming so much, but I could be out doing drugs or drinking alcohol or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just playing video games, minding my business, being an introvert. Anyway, I returned to my high school one day. I think it was my sophomore year, after it was either a eyeglasses appointment or a doctor's appointment. And I remember I was looming around the halls for like 30 minutes because I didn't want to go to my second period math class. I didn't do the homework because I thought I wouldn't be in class that day and I would just turn it in the day after. That was always my big excuse until when you get to college, eventually, like even if you don't attend class, you just turn it online. So you can't pull that one anymore. But that was my go-to. I'm not doing homework. So I was walking around the hallways, kind of like meandering around a little bit. And eventually I just come across like a teacher. I don't remember who she was, but she was asking me what I was doing. And I tried to play up like I was a dual enrollment student, but I wasn't yet. It's like, I'm an enrollment student. I'm here to take a test because dual enrollment kids would come back to the high school to take like certain exams that they would, how like you take exams like statewide exams or whatever.
Right.
So anyway, and I had to hold that thing up for like 10 minutes. She kind of held me in the halls there. She didn't really know what to do with me. I don't know if she was going to send me to the office or whatever, but I was like, no. I just took my test, blah, blah, blah. And she asked me who I was with. I made up like one of the guidance counselors or whatever I knew. And I was surprised to get away with it. I was like kind of counting down.
You lied about your guidance counselor and who it was?
Yeah, no, I was like really trying to avoid.
You created your own lore like on the fly.
Yeah. It was really, I was surprised with myself how easily I got away with it because the bell rang. It was like, okay, gotta go, bye. And like I kind of dashed it out of there. But
this is very sitcom of you. Like, hey, gotta go. Bell's ringing. Bye.
Another like another like 2 minutes, and man, I probably would have been nailed. So it was just funny, like holding up a lie for like 10 minutes straight, really trying to get away with it. But the next year I became a dual enrollment kid anyway, so it didn't matter.
You were just predicting your future. Yeah, you were predicting your future like I was. Exactly.
I was just acting up I was trying to make it a reality. Fake it till you make it.
Right. I respect that. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're both criminals here. So, Sean, thank you for extracting that out of us. By the way, Sean, I wanted to say congrats on your feature on LSM. I saw saw the video. That was awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I, Colin, I asked him and I didn't really expect I just, I threw it out there and he said, and I couldn't believe it. And then they asked me if they're like, oh, can we put this on the YouTube channel? I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah. It's actually, my students really enjoyed the video too. Because I showed it for career day and I showed it to like a number of students and a lot of them were like, I cannot believe you talk to someone with that much insight into the video game industry.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like a lot of the kids were like,
which class was it for? Well, how old are you?
So we have every year we have a career day at our school. So lately it's the last 2 years it's been virtual where people either they record a video, they did like a video interview, or they like Skype into the class and they just talk about things. So I asked Colin, I'm like, hey, I have a lot of kids who want to go into like video games or like go into like YouTube or just being content creators in general. I'm like, I think it'd be really valuable if you talk to them rather than the guy who works down the street at like mechanic shop. There's nothing wrong with that, but like a lot of the kids
this will catch their attention.
So I ended up showing it to like a that was my like station. The kids would rotate in and out of like each classroom, so like each grade has a different career, so like each class would show like a different have a different presenter, and mine was Colin, and it was awesome. Wow. So almost every 7th grader saw it.
I love that.
That's really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because like I remember watching part of it, and in the beginning, Colin dropped a word in the first 15 seconds that I have never fucking heard.
Oh
before.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's just like I heard it. I'm like, is he talking to Sean's middle schoolers? Like,
wait, what word was it? I'm curious.
I don't remember what it was, but that's the thing. I never heard this word come out of anyone's mouth before. It was this complex word. I'm just like, only Colin would say this to like. I thought it was like maybe 3rd graders or something. I'm just like, man. Anyway, Sean, congrats on that though. It was great to see.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, guys.
With that, man, it's been great talking to you again. I'm happy that your week wasn't chaotic, and so I hope you have another less chaotic week.
Oh, yeah. I'm expecting next week to be to be interesting.
When
I'm
does
going
your
to a
break start?
conference for work.
Oh.
So there's going to be 3 days for the substitute in my class. So
Nice.
that should be interesting.
Oh, that you're gonna come back to some crazy stories. Kids always act up when the substitutes around.
Yep.
Guilty. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Sean.
All
It was
right,
great
guys.
talking to you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in again.
All right, no problem. Looking
See you,
forward to
Sean.
hearing the rest.
Thanks, man. See you later.
All right. Now it's time to bring in Mercury. Always love some Sean Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Always love.
Mainstay, baby.
Mercury, hello.
Hello, Mercury. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, we can hear you. What's going on, man?
Not too much. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. I see your camera's loading in here. There we are. What's going on, man? Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great
almost.
to meet you too. Almost.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks so much for joining us, man. What's on your mind?
Of course. Well, I wanted to shout out Sean first because he helped me out yesterday with actually figuring out how to do all this stuff.
Oh, really? That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
actually,
Sean.
I've never used. Yeah, thank you, Sean. I've never used Patreon before Discord, so it's like
quick 24 hours,
huh? Yep, exactly. So I've been sitting on this question for a couple of months now, but I wanted to hit you guys with it. What game would you guys say has made a lasting impact on your life? It doesn't have to be the best game in the world technically or your favorite game. Something that you feel if you hadn't played it or hadn't been exposed to something within that game, you wouldn't be the same person.
I know Matt's immediately.
I have a couple.
I can probably guess Matt.
Yeah.
So let's go with Paul first. Let's go with Paul first. I'm sure it'll be a little more
for
interesting.
Me, I'd say, wow, this is a really good question because I could think of like a dozen games that really just have had sort of changed to my outlook on life in a way. Probably I want to say Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, one of the two, because I played them around the same time. And it has a lasting impact on me because I'd say that's the first time I played a game where I just really wanted to dive deep into the community surrounding it, the creators, and sort of everything revolving around Fallout. And I'd say it has a lasting impact on me because it's sort of the first game that sort of propelled me towards games journalism, learning about the industry. I found Matt through Fallout, as most people have. So yeah, I'd say Fallout 3, New Vegas, definitely not 4, but one of those earlier ones has had that sort of impact on my life where it propelled me towards more into games rather than just playing them, learning about them, talking to people who play them, meeting people who play games who are interested in making them and talking about them.
That's a great answer because I'm trying to rack my brain because there's a lot of ones that I got to say I've played and have shaken me up a little bit. I'm going to go with a little more of an unorthodox answer that I've brought up in passing, but I'll get a little bit more detailed with it. I think Gone Home was probably one of the most impactful games I played because, I played that when I was, I want to say 16 or 17, and I was never against any of it, but I didn't understand the value of the relationships that the game highlights. It's very LGBTQ driven. And so I remember seeing a lot of people post online about how phenomenal it was. It's only 2 hours. You can give 2 hours, give it a shot. I had $20. I was like, let me give it a shot. Just because I didn't know what it was. That's the thing. I knew it was like a walking sim kind of game. So I just figured why not? Because I remember Greg Miller, he was the one who was tweeting about it a lot. A lot, really championing it. And it was at a time where I followed him a lot. So I was like, okay, let's see what Greg's talking about. And I fired up, and the way the game just, I think, humanizes things and puts it into perspective that the value of these relationships and they're really all the same. Again, I was 16 or something like at the time. So for me, it was like a world point of view that I really hadn't developed. I was only thinking of my own world, and it kind of got me to think beyond that. Is Gone Home one of my favorite games? Certainly not. But it's definitely one that I think opened my mind in a way that I needed at that age, because I think it in turn throughout the rest of my life, I've always been open-minded to that stuff where we see how the rest of the world can be at times. And so I think that was a really, really important game. The other one I want to shout out, a lot of people will think I'll go to Persona 5. I want to shout out Persona 4 Golden. I call it the carry me game. That's the feel good game that I remember 2017 was probably the worst year of my life in a lot of ways. Not on an event basis, but I think of it as yeah, that was the year my anxiety depression was just at its worst. Like it was really bad. And I think there were a lot of bright spots with my friends, but I think the consistent bright spot, if I'm honest, was Persona 4 Golden. Like the way just watching friends interact and the feel good writing and music, the story, like it's a game that out of anything I've ever played, and literally anything, like I never felt more sad to see it end. It was a really moving experience because it carried me through a tough time. And I don't think I've played games that have sort of aided me, but I don't think I've ever leaned on one like Persona 4 Golden, where it's like not like I wouldn't be here without it, but like I was like, wow, I owe this game, man. Like this is a movement in a lot of ways. So those are the two, like one that opened my mind and one that definitely carried my spirit in a positive direction when everything was going south, for sure.
Those are. I was expecting Persona 5 Royal from you, Matt, because you know how we talked about the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a recent one. That'll be one we talk about for years to come, for sure. But like, obviously, for the sake of the audience, not going to go, I love KOTOR. Here's a story when I walked to the Circuit City.
Exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to make it interesting, of course. But there's a lot of games is sort of the idea here that have personally moved me. And, I could keep going. But those are the two major ones that I think on an emotional level that you're saying, like, you wouldn't be the same without. I think of those two a lot as, like, ones that really moved me as a person, for sure.
Gotcha. I'd have to say for me, like, same thing with you guys, like a lot of games that kind of changed my worldview. Like I remember playing the campaign for COD World War II, the one in 2017, and just at the time I was starting to get more into history, and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is actually like kind of terrible.
Yeah,
going through all of this stuff, I would have to say the one that probably, I wouldn't be able to go back and redo it again. I mean, I would have to have it played again if I were to redo my life. It would be Mafia 2. So I played that when I was, say 15 or 16. I played the shit out of that.
I like that.
Played it over and over and over again. But that game introduced me to jazz music. And I play saxophone. So at the time,
and I see the poster in the background. Not to interrupt you, but so that's perfect.
Yeah, so I was learning how to play saxophone. I wasn't taking it too seriously, but then I started hearing all this music like Louis Prima, Sam Butera, Dean Martin over the radio, and that kind of pushed me towards more accessible, poppier jazz music that ended up opening the door for the more technical stuff that I love now, like John Coltrane or Charlie Parker. So I really credit that game with.
That's amazing. I've never heard that type of story before.
Now.
I love that, man. That's great. Out of all games too, did Fallout propel you at all? Out of curiosity, I don't know if you played Fallout. Just I know that's one where the music is huge for people.
I played those after.
Okay.
After like I was into jazz, but I do love I would have to say New Vegas's radio soundtrack is probably my favorite.
I love New Vegas.
Yeah. But now I would have to say Mafia 2 is probably my top pick.
I love that. That's a really unique pick. And thank you for sharing that story with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Another one for me, I have a lot of games like, Minecraft is one that I could say because I spent so much time in Minecraft with my friends and like joining servers, building worlds. But another one for me that came to mind was Animal Crossing.
I thought that's what you were going to say originally. I thought that'd be one.
Yeah, because I met my girlfriend on Animal Crossing. She's sitting right over there. And it was like just because the game allows like you to really just like spend time with someone and you can gift each other stuff. And it sounds very, very bare bones, but there's like a certain charm that Nintendo writes into their games that puts into their games with their characters and the ways you can like customize your worlds and show them off and share that with other people, especially in New Horizons. I think like really bonding with my girlfriend over that until we eventually met in person. It's kind of a story you hear time and time again, but it really was defining for me at that point, and it helped me get closer to her, and it led to some of the most amazing times of my life.
There we go, man.
Awesome.
Can't think of a more fitting story.
Yeah, I can definitely relate though with bonding with people over Animal Crossing. My brother got his Switch first and got Animal Crossing, and then when the pandemic hit, my sister and I, and she lives in a dorm now, and I just moved out to Philly. We play Animal Crossing all the time with each other,
right?
And it's just just having that, being able to gift stuff to each other and that sort of thing.
and like
it's
go to each
really,
other's
really
support.
awesome. Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
weird because other games do it. Like you see that you can see like gifting things to each other or like hosting worlds for people to join. But something about Animal Crossing just feels really personal. And if you play it, you sort of know, right? Like you really like take over your character and make it you. And when you go and see someone, it does sometimes feel like you actually want to see them. It's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that's awesome to hear, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing the stories and asking a really thoughtful question. It was nice to reminisce on those games.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
appreciate it. You have a quick question. How do I get out of the call?
On the bottom left, you should see a little phone with an X, and that's your disconnect
I do
button.
see.
All right.
Awesome.
You click that, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to
All right, see you
Mercury.
guys.
All right. Great talking to you.
Next.
Later.
See ya.
I respect that. Man showed up and didn't know he was coming out.
Wow, I love that. That's a really good question, and I love when people come in. His mic was pretty good. He had the camera.
Oh yeah,
it was great.
Oh yeah,
and it was a new face too. I don't think
that was a new face. Yeah, he said he signed up for everything. He discovered new technology for Ham Radio Live.
Yeah.
Be like Mercury.
If you're listening, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate
great question.
Definitely.
And Matt, is it time to move into the news?
It is.
Yeah,
really. I mean, there's one big blotch of news here. So this episode's going different. You can already tell by the title of the episode. You know, we're doing our reaction, our extended thoughts to the Game Awards. So we're going to just kind of run down everything the Game Awards had to offer. I personally wrote in this doc some highlights. Paul, if there's anything that does come to mind for you, like I didn't write Wonder Woman down. I know we talked about that a little bit, but if there's anything that comes to mind, feel free to just tag it in here or whatever. But we're just going to run down all the announcements. I know a lot of people came here to hear us talk about Hellblade 2. We will get into that. But what I wanted to do, Paul, is just kind of get your initial thoughts on the show itself. I know those who watched the live stream last night know our thoughts. We sat down and talked for a little bit, but of course, I think it's important to, for the episode, get the fully captured Paul Lombardo special here. So where were you at with the Game Awards 2021?
Dude, I think I saw this take from some people on Twitter, and I didn't really express it myself, but because I was just trying to enjoy, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. I told you after, like, I kind of got a little bored in the sense that every time something was shown, I was waiting for the next big thing, and I don't think that's good for a show. My biggest issue was that it felt more like E3 than anything. It didn't feel like the Game Awards, and maybe that's because the Game Awards is shifting to a different sort of I don't know what the word would be, a different medium, or it's sort of shifting to more like a show than it is to like a game show about reveals than it is about the awards themselves. It was really disappointing towards the end. Like I remember when who was it? There was an award that was won. And then as they were walking up, they announced another award.
Accessibility, and it was Forza won. They announced that they won Best Sports Game.
Yeah, and like to me, I was like, accessibility is important, but shouldn't Best Sports Game be like the one they talk about? Because it's about the game, you know what I mean? And then they can be like, oh, they also won accessibility, but it just felt very bloated, and it felt bloated because of all the ads thrown in there. And I don't know if it's because of how this thing is funded, how Jeff works with it, but I imagine it's rather expensive to host. I mean, it definitely is, but just the fact of the matter that it was so bloated with ads, and it was that some of the ads were like very just uninteresting. There were so many movies. The only one I really liked was Sonic. In fact, the Sonic movie really had me hyped seeing that, even though I haven't seen the first one. I just thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, it did look good.
And I get it because this is something we see in like games in general, like where they'll bring in something that isn't relevant and they sort of try to make it part of the show. Like we've seen it in E3 and stuff, but it just felt really apparent here. And this was definitely one of my least favorite. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say it was my least favorite Game Awards out of all of them I've seen.
I think that's fair.
And it sucks because I don't think it's necessarily bad. I'd say above average is a good way. Like a hair above average is a good place for it, in my opinion, because I did enjoy some of the takes. Like I really love that It Takes Two got Game of the Year. If you don't know my opinion on It Takes Two, it's that it's one of the most innovative games I've played in years. And if you haven't played it, please go get it. It got Game of the Year yesterday over Deathloop.
Yeah,
and I'm very
victory
for
us.
Happy.
Victory here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Deathloop. Listen, great game, a lot of fun, but not deserving of that Game of the Year, especially with something like It Takes Two sitting right next to it. And I'm glad that I don't know how the deciding works, but It Takes Two definitely deserved it. And that was definitely the biggest surprise for me last night, which is kind of sad because there were a lot of reveals.
Mm.
You know what I
You
mean?
really that's actually a really good way of putting it. The biggest surprise was that game, not because it's a bad game, just it was. We were all as a group signing off like Deathloop's going to win, because when Deathloop won Best Art Direction, which this is not Deathloop slander, but that game has a lot of strengths that you could talk about and I would hear you out on.
Well,
art though, I mean,
it's not bad art-wise.
No, it's not. But like, dude, all that said to me is the voting goes like, what did you play this year? And not enough people played like Psychonauts 2 or Ratchet and Clank. Like the fact
Psychonauts
that
2
either of those two won.
man.
Yeah,
immediately above it. One game I played that I don't think a lot of people, I doubt many people in chat played, was Chicory, A Colorful Tale. And it's literally a game that is like a coloring book, and the art direction is phenomenal. And the fact that that wasn't even listed there was just like baffling to me. And I get it. Every year you have these sort of like, why isn't this here, or why did this win? Blah, blah, blah.
You always got the snubs.
You always have that. But I mean, something is like Forza not being on Game of the Year, even though it wasn't. It's like, I think it's the highest reviewed game this year.
Yeah.
Like rating.
Yep. Highest rated game.
That's just ridiculous to me. Yeah. And it had a crazy concurrent player base. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Each year, I'm just more and more baffled by the Game Awards.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if this is the worst one to me. I think of I think it was Game Awards 2014. It was the one with Joel McHale. Someone in the audience can make sure I got the exact year here in chat, but I remember that one so vividly because I get some people like Joel McHale, but this guy was a fucking douche that whole show. Like, he did not care. Talk about, imagine someone like Jeff Keighley, who no matter what he does right or wrong, you can tell he loves games. So you got someone like Jeff who's clearly loving games, and you got Joel McHale who literally is just like, imagine like the most I'm just showing up and collecting my check energy of all time. That's what you were getting at Joel McHale in 2014. And again, like, I get it, people like him, but holy shit, I will forever dislike that man because of what he did to that show. So to me, it's really hard to upend that because that was also when Spike was doing the VGA. So the Game Awards were on TV and they were very commercialized. Then they went independent and we started to see things trend upwards. They were really receptive to feedback. This year was the secure the bag year. I don't know what happened, who needed to get paid, but that was mobile game money, which is millions of dollars. We're talking about Google Play. FaZe Clan was getting ads in there. Dude, Nate Hill.
Yeah, that was what I was going to bring it up. This guy. Still don't know who he is. Still don't know who he is.
I looked him up. I think he's a member of FaZe.
Okay. He should be called by FaZe Hill or whatever the fuck his name is. But you had Nate Hill and then some other girl next to him 3 times. There might have been 4.
I think it was 4.
Pop up and say, hey, come check out our Twitch. And it's like, dude, no one fucking cares. We're here for the Game Awards. Like, I'm sorry. I know. But come on. Like, you're in FaZe. Use your audience. Use your platform. Because they didn't, as far as I know, they didn't even say what was going on.
They were just like, it's a watch party after the show. I'm like, aren't you supposed to watch along? What do you mean it's a watch party after the show? It was just those ads were terrible. And again, I'm not against anyone making their money. They should be making their money. That's important to keep these shows around. But for sure, the Game Awards has shown in past years, and even Summer Games Fest has shown in past years, like, there's a tactful way of doing it. And sometimes I know the money is great and it's attractive, but not all money. Cog said this, so I don't want to act like it's my thought. Not all money is good money. That's just the reality of it all. Like, not all money is good money. And this is one of those cases where they were grabbing every ounce of cash that they could.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me is the fact that there was the show had at least an hour dedicated to ads and just stuff people like really didn't care about. And I think, like, when you're looking at it like that and you're like, okay, we got to fit this ad in, this ad in, this ad in, and you're bloating it to 3 hours, that's when you need to step back and be like, okay, is this money good money? Right?
It hurts the show.
When you're damaging the reputation of the show in a way. And I don't know, because we're still all going to watch it next year. I mean, he's kind of got like a monopoly almost on Games Award shows in a way.
Yeah.
There are other ones, but like, this is the big one, end of the year, everybody's waiting for it. So maybe Jeff felt really comfortable, really just shitting in our mouths this time. But it's so funny because people don't know this about Jeff Keighley, but he had some crazy controversy involving Doritos and Mountain Dew. It's called Dorito Gate. It's back when he was like a journalist.
Oh yeah, he was taking dirty money then. Yeah,
he was taking dirty money.
Hydro
man,
Stick.
really
Yeah, no, that's actually more known than I think you realize. That's like he's called the Dorito
really?
Pope. Yeah, there's memes about it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So it's funny because he does have a history of that, and he walked away from it. So because at first it was like ads that were just really like the Hydro Stick one. It was like really out of place. Then they started going more gaming. This year it's like, oh well, mobile games are games. And they did movies. Like they did one from Guillermo del Toro. Like he had a movie that had nothing to do with games getting promoted there, but because he's Kojima's buddy, it's like, hey, dude,
thank God,
show that.
Thank God, because he was like, I hope we get a Silent Hill game soon, and it's like,
yeah, true. Yeah, he did tease that. He did tease that.
Yeah, that was one reveal, but yeah, right. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
it's just like, why? Why was that there? Like, nothing to do with games at all. It's just an ad.
Yeah, exactly. I think you could bend it for Sonic and Halo, but like Matrix,
for sure.
kinda, sorta. Like I guess
it's a game, but dude, they capped it off with that.
Yeah, that's the
Sonic would have been better to cap off with because Sonic was pretty mind blowing.
Sonic was hype. Sonic was hype.
The trailer was crazy. Honestly, like I would have rather seen Hogwarts Legacy. I know I'm going against the soul slander here, but Hogwarts Legacy at the end would have been better than the Matrix. I don't know. I
agree. I think anything would have been.
Yeah, like is the Matrix? I know the Matrix is big, but I don't think gamers are like foaming at the mouth for the Matrix. Like,
no, man. It shows that these companies can pay for slots. Like that much is obvious here because I look at something like Hellblade 2, and I think Jeff is an enthusiast enough to go like, that is so unreal looking. I'm not even saying that because I do Xbox stuff. Like you could have picked that. You could have picked Star Wars Eclipse. You could have picked, looking at our list here, Plague Tale Requiem. You could have picked Sonic Frontiers. There are a lot of games there. Wonder Woman, I think, was a huge surprise. You could have picked a lot of those and been like, this is it. This is the big one. Yeah, here we go. Let's do this. And you chose Matrix. And I think, again, Jeff, if he's making these calling these shots, he's a big enough enthusiast to know, like, all right, Matrix is cool, like Unreal 5 tech demo. You get to play it. This is like not the show capper. You can tell, I've learned this about Jeff, just because he's always the main host, so he kind of puts himself out there enough, just like any content creator, where like you get to know them. I can tell when Jeff is excited, like Elden Ring, I know I got you here. And when Jeff is like really fucking overselling it, like Matrix Awakens, where he's like, so cool, really love it. He does this double mic clutch. He's like, I love it. It's so cool. You got to try it out. Oh my God. Can't believe it's here for real. Download it. I'm so excited. He says it like 3 times in a row. And that's when you know.
You got ad money, Jeff, and you got genuine like gamer excitement, Jeff.
Yeah, and there's a huge difference.
On his shoulder.
A huge difference.
That's so funny you can read him like that because now that I'm thinking about it, it's like so true. He's like,
he really, you can tell the difference now. And that was a moment where I was like, he was thinking of his bank account to some extent, being like, this is pretty sick. Yeah, this is sick.
I don't blame the guy because, like I said, I imagine this show going independent is expensive.
Absolutely. Yep.
But I know going in, it's not just like, oh, it's expensive, so we have to make up those costs. It's like, no, we're making money. You know what I mean? Like, because these, with how big this show is, I'd never compare it to the Super Bowl. But just like for comparison's sake, big shows, ads bring in a lot of money. You know what I mean? A lot of money. So Jeff is definitely making
well, the thing is like, it's just like a YouTube video. When my views go up, my rate can go up on ads. So it's the same thing there. When Jeff starts on the show saying tens of millions, which I'm sorry, I didn't think it was reaching that many people. Like I knew it was reaching millions, but not tens of millions. If you're reaching tens and tens of millions, your rate goes up and you don't need as many ads, or you could go crazy with the ads and make a shit ton of money, which is, I think is what they did. They recognized it was a huge year for them.
It's a big year, and it's one time at the end of the year, like a capstone. Let's make our money, and then make our money until like next year we can make our money again.
Yeah,
I get it. It's, I don't know, man. I feel like there's better ways to incorporate these ads that don't bloat the gameplay time. That's Maya.
Oh my.
And yeah, it was just disappointing seeing that, and I think a lot of people in sort of shared that sentiment.
Yeah, it's weird because they've clearly grown, right? Like, think about it. They've clearly grown since they're doing Summer Games Fest, which is Jeff Keighley and his team. Like, they're like, yeah, we're doing this too. So you have enough now where I agree with you. Like, it's expensive to go independent. It's expensive to rent out the Microsoft Theater in December and do this.
It's in LA too, right?
Yeah, it is. So there's money there. And I'm sure they fly people out, all that stuff, right? And they pay to film certain trailers that for their own show and promote it. So there's money going into it, but you've expanded enough to now do 2 big shows. So big that you have your own E3 and you have your own winter E3. And it's so big that Elden Ring, a game that was most anticipated 2 years in a row, chose your platform. So I don't buy into this idea that they're hungry and they need to be fed. It's like you got greedy this year.
I agree. It's totally like that too, especially bringing up that point that they have like the Summer Game Show, because that started 2 years ago. I think it was like when COVID hit. That's when they started it, and it's really cool. I like the Summer Game Show, but honestly, I'm putting myself in Jeff's shoes here. He's a predator walking around with his money bags, and he sees like a dying bird on the side of the road. That dying bird is E3, and he's going for the neck. He
used to host E3. Yeah, he used to host YouTube Live at E3.
He knows. I think he's a good businessman, if anything, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I don't think he's a piece of shit for what he did at all. Yeah, I think he lost sight this year, and it's just that simple. You can tell when he's locked in, and I will put my fucking money on it. Not Jeff Keighley money. I'll put my money on it that next year's Game Awards will be sick because this year it's all been discourse, and his ego can't take it because he's like it goes in waves. Like when they fuck up, they respond and they really dial in. I think they make a better show. Because I think once you looked at the 2014 Joel McHale show and you saw it got better each year, like you could see things were really improving. Yeah. And there's no reason why with a formula that's been working, like there needs to be a drastic shakeup every year. That's what I don't understand. We'll talk about the games in just a sec, but you know it works now. Like there's no more of this like, oh, we moved from Spike, we're independent now, we're seeing what works. Yeah. What's your feedback? It's like, Jeff, you've been doing this for 7 fucking years. Like we know what works, man.
And he's pushing the boundaries too. He's like, okay, now we have a formula. It works. People enjoy it. They're liking what we're doing. Let's see how many ads we can put in here. Let's push.
Exactly.
Let's push people a little bit, and we'll pull back.
Yeah.
And we'll push a little more. And that's just the reality of it. I think the Summer Games Fest, we will see where they're taking this direction with the ads and how bloated the ads will be. But as for the Game Awards, it was rather disappointing. So I'm hoping that next year will be better. But we have a lot of games to talk about.
We do.
A lot of reveal.
We do.
This is mini E3. This is winter E3.
It is. I think another fix for this could be just not putting it in December, but putting it like sometime in early 2022, because then it would look too much like a marketing show.
Because then Halo would have been there.
Yeah. Honestly, it should have been. It should have been talked about.
Games get snubbed, like Cyberpunk, for example. It had some awards it could have won last year. And I know this is a really bad example because Cyberpunk was like a game.
Jedi Fallen Order is probably the one that I think of that came out after the Game Awards deadline in November, and they're like, they make the cut. And I'm like, Jedi Fallen Order was incredible, and it got snubbed the next year because 2020 was a pretty good year for gaming.
Yeah, and those games come out in that year. So I don't like this whole notion of the Game Awards deciding what year a game comes out because the Game Awards is so big at this point that people see that and they're like, oh, that is the game of the year. Yeah. It Takes Two is the game of the year because you'll get other games that have, game of the year for joystick awards or whatever.
Yeah.
This is so centralized now that people recognize whatever the Game Award says is like the game of the year.
Yeah, so, it's the optics, right?
That's exactly.
But you're right. We should talk about video games. So let's get into it. I got a whole list here. We'll just kind of run down them. Tunic is arriving March 16th, 2022. This is an Xbox exclusive. I don't know if you remember this one. It's the Zelda-like.
The little fox.
Yeah.
It looks super cute.
Yeah, I really dug this one a lot. This is one I definitely really want to play.
Is it going to be a Game Pass game?
I don't think so. I think it's just exclusive, which that's honestly, I don't think it matters because these, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It's on Game Pass, but more so for those who don't have Xbox is what I'm talking about, because I've realized Xbox with these smaller games that they get exclusively, like something like Stalker is only going to be a couple months of exclusivity. I imagine Tunic will be that. They don't keep these games locked down for long. So if anyone is interested in Tunic, no, you probably, based off what I saw with Death's Door and what we're hearing about with Stalker, won't be too long. But this game looked excellent. I love when games take inspiration from Zelda and they don't Breath of the Wild it now, because that was a fatigue I felt during this show. A lot of Breath of the Wild games,
yeah, and that's something we're sort of feeling like every year. You know, you have games that you have. I'd say there's like two kinds of Breath of the Wild clones. You have the one that sort of takes it a little bit, takes ideas from it, and expands upon it, like Genshin Impact. And then whatever that game that was shown at E3, we'll talk about it. I don't know if you have it written down, but or not E3, sorry, the Game Awards. You can just tell, like, it's just like Breath of the Wild, like exactly, and it's just uninteresting.
I agree. Like, you can't deny the influence and the impact that game has had, and I think it's good that we have games like that. But what I like about Tunic is it's like, okay, we like Zelda, but we also want you to make a Tunic game, right? Like, we want to, or I worded that wrong. You want people to look at your game, and then when they get inspired off it, they make a game based off Tunic, not based off Zelda. That's the idea.
Yeah,
like, taking the ideas and iterating a little bit.
And this is the studio that made Night in the Woods, which is a pretty popular game. So
did Colin play that?
Was that publishers? Yeah, our friend Colin.
He did play
it. It's published by Finji, not made by them. But regardless, no. Tunic looked really, really. I keep using the word cute, but that's because I
think it's a good word to describe it, though.
Yeah, it's cute, and it's like isometric and has those Zelda vibes to it. It was a good little way to start it off.
Absolutely, yeah. That was during the pre-show. Also, there was Planet of Lana. This was it was called an Off-Earth Odyssey. This is coming 2022, exclusive to Xbox and PC so far. Very Recore looking game. It's supposed to be a 3D game, even though the trailer was in 2D. But it very artsy, very ominous, very mysterious. Hard to gauge what it will be, but definitely enough to pique my curiosity.
Yeah, I really dug the art style. It has like a sort of like painting look to it for the background, but then when you're up front, it's much more cleaner. It still looks like paintings, but much more a very minimalistic look to it as well with the characters, and it gave me Limbo vibes, like Limbo with color, and this is really based on the fact that they're going like side scrolling.
Right.
I'm not like insanely interested in it, but it did look really pretty, and pretty games can really grab people's attention, especially mine. Absolutely. Pretty and a good soundtrack, and I'm sold. Let me give it a shot.
For sure. Another one during the pre-show, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. This is coming out March 17th, 2022, PS4, Switch, and Steam. And this is also going to bring in, for those who have never played the Persona 4 Arena games, it's going to bring in Arena 1 story as well as the Ultimax story. Ultimax added the Persona 3 cast. So I think these games are great. My biggest issue, and I brought this up when we were live streaming the event, was I don't know why Xbox isn't in on this, man. Like, this is a port, and they're not even in on that. I don't know why they say they're all big on Japan, because they're not.
Do you think it's Atlas? Like,
I
they're
think
sort
so.
of like sticking to their guns with Sony?
I think so, because the way I look at it is, I don't know how, I said this on Defining Duke, but I don't know how Xbox gets Tales of Arise, Lost Judgment. They're getting the new the Somnium Files or game next year, Nirvana Initiative, I think it's called. Like, you're getting these games, but you couldn't get Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and I'm like, why is it Atlas games that are doing the dodge? Only thing I can think of is like
Xbox 360 too.
Yes, you can get Arena Ultimax and Arena on 360. Arena is back compat. Ultimax is not, so you had double the reason to be here for this, right?
Right.
And again, I think for a simple port, like I know that there's stress on the team no matter what, but I can't imagine it was so much that Arena Ultimax couldn't be brought to Xbox. I think this was really disappointing. The only thing I can think of, though, is when they opened up the trailer. Did you notice they had like the whole 25th anniversary? This is a part of their announcements, and they zoomed in on Persona 4. And I'm like, okay, when they make certain announcements, I think they're going to zoom in on stuff.
I would love that.
So we'll see.
Maybe we'll see Persona 5 on Xbox. But I don't know, man. Like, if this game, Arena Ultimax, is already on 360 and it's not going to Xbox for whatever reason, I kind of get this vibe that they're just staying away from it because it's free money. I keep saying that, unless there's like some secret deal between Sony and Atlas, but it's free money for them to take a game they already have. And I guess obviously it's not as simple as we make it out to be to program it for another console, but to put it on Xbox, like Persona 5 Royal, ship it on there, and suddenly you introduce a whole new player base to your games. So you're securing future sales, but you're also getting sales on a game that's already made pretty much. So to me, it's just stubbornness from Atlas. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, no, we're just going to stick with Sony. We're comfortable here. And I don't know. I wish it was more like an exclusivity deal, because at least it would be confirmed. I wouldn't be so frustrated. You know what I mean? Like
See
I
the
wouldn't be like,
papers.
why are these games popping on Xbox? Exactly. But my biggest issue was the fact that this game isn't getting a physical in the West.
Good point. Yep. Let's talk about it.
It's you know, Matt, we're both physical collectors, and Atlas makes really, really fucking awesome steelbooks. I would go get them off my shelf. Much work. I have a Catherine steelbook and I have a Persona 5 Royal steelbook, and they both look amazing. Or Catherine full body. So this not having a physical really sucks, and it's just weird to me. Like, I don't get why. Maybe they're just assuming there's not going to be a lot of sales for it.
It's the same thing they did with the Steelbook for the PS4 copy, only on Best Buy. Like, I don't get how they
Best
do
Buy.
this.
Yeah, it's so it's so ridiculous. I don't understand Atlas. Never that kid said Atlas pulling an Atlas. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Oh, you want to talk about
from here.
Atlas pulling an Atlas? Here's the other part, right? You know, I'm excited for this game, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But Atlas pulling an Atlas, here's the definition of that. People have wanted Persona 4 Golden on other platforms for a while. They bring it to PC. You think it's a sign it's going elsewhere. So then you look at the PS4 and you look at the Switch. It's like, these are the right platforms for the next Persona port, right? This makes sense. Like, as much as I want it to come to Xbox, let's be realistic, right? But Switch has been like petitioned since Joker and Smash. And they bring the spin-off Persona 5 Strikers and they bring the spin-off Persona 4 Arena to Switch, to PS4, but not, well, PS4 is less, but like Switch, but not the game it's based off of, the follow-up. They're like, play, like even the trailer, they go, play the follow-up to Persona 4 Golden, see what happens after Persona 4 Golden. I'm like, okay, what if no one's played Persona 4 Golden and
on PS4?
Yeah. It's not on any of the consoles outside of Vita and PC.
And then you have Strikers on Switch without Persona 5 Royal. And I know that game is like, no, you know what? Never mind. That game's on PS3, Persona 5. So that could go on the Switch, right? So, like, what is Atlas doing? I'm starting to see, like, we're getting a Persona game every year, right? We had Strikers this year. Before that, we had Royal. I don't know if we had one before then.
Yeah.
We also had 4 Golden somewhere for Steam's on somewhere. But where's Persona 3? Where's the Persona 3 re-release? Like, they're holding on to these games like cards, and I feel like they're just waiting for the right quarter to release them. But it's like it just feels like they're grabbing us by the balls, and they're making us play an emulator, because I still haven't played Persona 3, and I've heard amazing things. I listen to the music pretty regularly, even though I never play the game, and I just want to play it. So
that's in a worse state than Persona 4 Golden, right? Like, that's the one that's on PS2 and PSP. And you can play it on your Vita through that. Like, I played that on Vita, but it was the PSP version.
Who owns a Vita? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, exactly that. Yeah, it's totally fair to say. So, yeah, Persona's in a weird spot for such a popular, in-demand franchise. And I really have a feeling they understand after seeing Golden, like, that they're now porting Arena Ultimax. Like, I feel like the game plan's obvious, but that's the thing with Atlas that a lot of people realize as they become fans of their games. It's never obvious to them. So I'm stoked, though, on a positive note. Like, I love Arena. Arena Ultimax is an expensive game to buy complete in box. So them putting it up for resale, even if it's digital, is good. It's a really strong fighting game. It comes from the developer who was responsible for, like, BlazBlue and stuff. So it's a competent fighting game. A lot of people who are new to Persona don't realize how Atlas may have their flaws, as we just noted, but Atlas takes really good care of their spinoffs. The dancing games, the arena games, Strikers is another one. Like, they take good care of their stuff. They're not just these throwaways. They're not just cash grabs. The only ones I didn't like were Persona 3 and 5 dancing. Those did feel a little bit more throwaway. Persona Q, I think you said Q, right? Did I hear that? Okay.
Q, yeah. That was a 3DS port, or not port, but the spin-off.
JRPGs, the Etrian Odyssey spin-offs.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I got into Persona with Roy, I guess, 2 years ago or a year ago. And it just sucks seeing them, like, I don't want to say mishandle the license, because we're not at that level where they're like Bethesda with Fallout. But I just think they sort of make things harder than they need to be.
Yeah.
So who knows?
March 17th, 2022 for that again. Definitely one worth checking out. Oh, go on.
I think there will be a Japanese physical. So, if we want to go to some, like, play Asia, just cop and go buy it.
Love that.
But we have Hellblade.
We do. Let's talk about that. So Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory shows up. I think you put it perfectly at the start of our show. You take one look at it, and you're waiting for the gameplay to start. You're like, let's do this, man. Here we go, gameplay.
And then it kind of does, and it kind of does.
But then you realize, like, if you've played Hellblade, you said you haven't played it, but, like, when she starts jogging, that's when, like, if you've played Hellblade, you go, oh, that's the gameplay. Like, that's the animation when she's running around. Like, that is gameplay. I wish they picked – I don't want to I'm not upset at all with what they showed, but I'm anxious to see when real combat starts up, because what we saw there – was, and it's on Unreal Engine 5, was fucking stunning. Like, the seamless transitions between gameplay and story, we can call it now, right? Because that's what's going to be amazing, is when the verbiage changes as we enter the next gen. Is like, we used to go gameplay and cutscene. The transition between gameplay, cutscene, there's not going to be that, right? It's going to be that of the same. We've seen in-game cutscenes, but now when you see what's happening with Hellblade, that would call it a cinematic experience with gameplay. Like, that's what it would be more like. And to me, that's what's exciting, is that looks to rewrite what gaming can be. Obviously, there's a lot of games being worked on in Unreal Engine 5, like Matrix Awakens. So even though it's a tech demo, point being is, we know Unreal Engine 5 is going to be used a lot. This is our first real look at a game that's being made for it, and it looks lead of the pack above everything else shown in this showcase. This was the top dog. And again, when you had something like this was the blow away moment. I thought, like, we were all shocked and like, holy shit, this looks good.
I thought it was a movie at first.
Yeah.
Like, it looked that good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, obviously. it was a game. And it's crazy to see, like, how you're mentioning, we're stepping away from, like, you'll have like pre-rendered cutscenes. Now these cutscenes are being rendered in game as you're playing, and then it's like a seamless transition. We sort of saw that with God of War, right? God of War, the reboot. It was a very seamless cinematic experience, but it's cool seeing like another game sort of step in that direction, and it looks even better because we're on next generation hardware. Matt, it is good that we're finally seeing games take advantage of next gen hardware to an extreme. We're not gonna see this game. Wait, I don't want to speak, but are we gonna see this on Xbox One? No, right?
No, definitely.
I would imagine not. Yeah,
no.
right.
Good to verify, but well, technically, I don't mean to be like this. Technically, with xCloud streaming, yes, running natively.
You know what I?
Yeah, running natively. No, it's not.
Right. So that I want to see more of that. I'm not trying to bar people who still have their Xbox Ones and the PS4s, but this is a clear example of what can be done when this next gen hardware is fully taken advantage of.
Dude, absolutely. I agree. That was probably the best part game-wise of this show, was the amount of things that I saw that the trailers ended with, and it was like a boost of serotonin every time. Like, I was like, oh my God, yeah, just the Series X and PS5 logos, PS5 Series X logos. Like, it's like, yes, leave them behind. I've been waiting for this. Selfishly, I've been waiting for this. I'm like you. Yeah, I'm team. I understand, but guess what? I'm also team. I spent $500 on this thing. I want to fucking use it. I am so excited because that's what they need to do though. Because it was, I think when you look at the leap from PS3 to PS4, it was less significant, and we never really imagined what the next leap would be like.
And it's like this.
This looks like a big leap, right? This is the huge leap, because I remember, I think when out of all games, and I know it's going to make people laugh, but Arkham Knight, I remember when that came around, a lot of reviewers were saying like this was the next gen only experience, and that was like the most flawed Arkham game too, on a gameplay front and whatnot, story front too. But I remember that being like a defined next gen game on the PS4 and Xbox One, and I just feel like visually and whatnot, it wasn't reaching that level where I thought it was unattainable on old hardware. When you look at something like The Last of Us 1, when it came out in 2013, I was like, this is just, there's still power left here that they can use. It felt like they didn't squeeze it all out, where when you moved into PS4 and Xbox One, I felt they all kind of looked the same. This leap we're seeing with Hellblade 2, I just cannot emphasize enough how exciting it is. But I want to know, because you and I are very art-driven, do you worry we move into an industry future where everything's photorealistic and this can get tiresome? Because right now it's really cool.
I think I do get that worry, right? Because it's like the new big thing. Photorealism, it really does look realistic, and I think it is eye catching. People are like, "Whoa, this is a video game," and people are going to capitalize on that we're gonna see that happen. But it's almost like the open world thing. Like, remember, open worlds was like, our game is open world, by the way, because that was like almost a leap in hardware in a way, leap in technology. And it was a big thing for a little bit, but then people realized, well, every game can't be open world because it just doesn't work. It's not as fun because this game did it better, or blah blah blah. I think there's a huge market for games that have unique, varied art styles, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. But as for AAA games, I guess it's a possibility because I mean, look at something like Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy remake. If you look at the original Final Fantasy VII, that game is very, very like different in terms of art because you got like literally polygon characters where they're like little Lego guys. But
really, that's a good point.
7 remake part 1 looks just like anime characters but with photorealism, and I'm a big fan of that. I think it looks phenomenal. But stepping away from or like even pixel art in older Final Fantasy games, stepping away from it can be kind of a little bit worrisome, That's why I'll go play something like Octopath Traveler where we still have pixel art, but you bring in modern graphics and modern looks with the Unreal Engine, and it looks so good.
Yes.
I don't think those games are going away because there's a market for them.
I agree. I think that market's going to grow. I really do.
Yeah, I think that too.
I think that's what's going to happen with these games is there's going to be a lot of people who embrace photorealism. I think gaming will grow through it, but I also think there's a reason Octopath Traveler, beyond it being a good game, there's a reason it sold like 2 million copies when it launched on Switch.
It's a reason for sure because people were eating games up on the Switch and it looked phenomenal.
Yeah,
it looked insane.
But I also just think it's because like there was a hunger back then. Like we wanted this type of game, and I think as time goes on, there's going to be more of that. So
it's also because you have like if with photorealism, like this shit is not cheap and it is not quick. It takes a while. Like, we're talking about like programming the beard hairs in Joel's beard in Last of Us Part 2. Like that like that shit is not quick, easy, or it costs a lot. So when we're gonna see like more indie studios with less money, lower budgets, sort of step towards more creativity. And I'm a fan of that because I feel like when you have like struggles, when you have ceilings that you have to make, you get creative with it. I think of something like Silent Hill, like when it was releasing on PS1 and PS2. You have the use of the fog, and it's very atmospheric in the game, but they use it in a way to where it doesn't render things behind the fog, so the game can run smoothly and it can look good. And that's like a way to like insert something creative into a ceiling. So a budget is a ceiling, and I think indie studios will step towards like they're already more like creative with their art and stuff.
Right.
But I think that we'll see that more and more, like you're saying.
A surge in it,
For AAA games, I think we're going to see that more photorealism because they have the money, they have the assets, the resources to capitalize on it.
Evil West up next, third-person Doom game kind of. When you look at it, like this is the one that you just.
Cool.
Did you know that's co-op too?
I thought so. I remember seeing another like cowboy-looking guy jump in. I'm like, co-op?
Yeah, we were all talking about that, and that is co-op. So this one looks great. Published by Focus Home Interactive, who does really good AA games, and I can only hope this one lives up to the charm because they've tried another Doom-like in Necromunda Hired Gun, and I didn't think that game was that great. I thought it was kind of disappointing. But Evil West looks a lot sharper, I think. But they also, Focus Home just knows how to make a really good trailer, so I'm hoping this is not one of those cases, but Evil West looked really damn good.
And then Star Wars Eclipse, which was a big reveal. Should have been saved for last, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good pick for that.
It's being created by Quantic Dream. Now, I don't know what Quantic Dream does, so I'm just going to check.
Quantic Dream did Beyond Two Souls. They did Heavy Rain.
Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, Detroit Become Human.
Okay.
They did those games. What's interesting is our website I read defining the game called it an action-adventure game. The leak said it was an open-world game, and then the Star Wars blog was saying it's a game defined by your choices. They were saying, like, you make choices. About right. Yeah, which Detroit makes sense for them.
And then you have, what is that game called? Beyond Two Souls. That was very choice-driven, right?
Oh, God, yeah. All of them were. All of them were.
Yeah. So, yeah, it sounds about right. I'm excited because this is something different for Star Wars, right? I don't think that really... I mean, we have KOTOR, right, which is choice-driven, but that's an RPG. This is like an action-adventure choice-driven game, so
They said you play as multiple characters too, so definitely not an RPG.
Yeah, that would make sense for their type of game, right?
Yeah.
Because Detroit.
True, yeah, they've always done that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that in a Star Wars universe, and I'm kind of surprised. Like I haven't heard anybody say like this is something I want. You know, like it's almost to me like a Telltale game, but elevated, like a AAA. I don't know if it would be AAA, but like a high quality Telltale game.
It's probably gonna be a Telltale game that has gameplay. Like that's what it's gonna shake out to be, and that's a great pitch in my opinion. It's like, hey, we're gonna be choice driven in a pretty simple way, and we're gonna have you be able to shoot and fight bad guys. You don't just have to walk around and hit dialogue options. Like there's something there.
Setting. Yeah. It is prequel era.
It's High Republic. It's High Republic actually.
Oh, really?
Which is
Yoda. So.
Yeah, no, it's High Republic, so it takes place between Old Republic and prequel. Because I know this because I read the books, and it's like a golden era for Star Wars. It's like a utopian era.
Prequel era.
Yeah,
Dude,
prequel.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm excited about it because as someone who read one of the books on it, I looked at it and went, you know what? Like this, to see it already be visualized is really exciting. And I think a new era of Star Wars is needed after what happened with the Skywalker saga. It's just like, it's a shame the way it all ended, but, something new that's kind of untampered with is exciting, I think. And knowing that when they go back to my favorite era, it's a remake, which will have new content, but it's not going to change up the game entirely. At least it shouldn't. We'll see. Like they're not messing with the right things or wrong things, and they are and they're creating in the right area. So excited to see what that is, but that I'm sure is a ways off.
Yeah, definitely for sure. We're gonna see that later. New Somerville is it just Somerville? Or
new Somerville trailer. The game is called Somerville though. I'm not crazy about this one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one apparently it's actually by the co-creator of Limbo, and if you look at it, it gives me Limbo, and that other game that came out after what Inside, yes, which I wasn't as big of a fan of as I was with Limbo, but it looks like those games, very moody, very atmospheric. I don't have too much to say about this one, Matt, because I know I imagine you either. It looked cool. I kind of feel bad whenever something looks cool. It's like the most uninteresting thing you can say about a game, but it's like. I don't know.
With so many trailers, right? You can only react a certain number of ways. When you think about it. I'm with you though. Like Somerville, there's not much for me to really even say on it. So that's it. It's coming to Xbox and PC 2022. I'll play it when it's around. But yeah, Warhammer. Yes, let's talk about Warhammer.
Really cool.
Yeah, Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. So 10 years ago, we had the original game come out, Xbox 360, PS3. This one doesn't have a release date, but it is next gen only. And this was that was a top fiver for me. Like it was a cool Space Marines trailer. Kind of reminded me of the Brotherhood of Steel stomping in, power armor, kicking ass, and then leaving. But then there's blood and guts like everywhere, sawing people in half. Very Gears of War driven. I loved what I saw. How are you feeling about it?
It was third-person shooter, like action-oriented, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know about the original Space Marines, but wasn't it like isometric or?
I don't know. The original Space Marines was this third-person action game. Obviously, being a 360 game around 2011, 2010, it was. A lot of people liked it. It's a good game, apparently. I never played it, but having a sequel this many years later is really a cool thought. I'm actually going to try to buy and play Space Marines 1.
Okay. Well, maybe a little retro rebound.
It's not a bad idea. It's been a decade and could fit there.
Yeah, 10 years. That's retro.
10 years later. Yeah, 10-year window. It's weird, but I'm getting old enough where like PS2 is definitely retro, and like next will be PS3. Sure. Like that's crazy to think about. That there will be HD games that are retro just by age.
I think Xbox 360s and PS3 are definitely. If they're not retro, they're on the cusp. Like give it a few years and they're considered retro because that's some old shit.
Yeah. I think once we move into Unreal Engine 5, we start to see more Hellblade 2 experiences. Like, you're like at 360 games and go, damn, okay. We thought this looked good, didn't we?
Yeah. I always think that. I remember, this is a bit off topic, but I remember going into GameStop and seeing those demos. They have like the big towers and there was a TV. I remember seeing Star Wars Starkiller game Matt, help me out here.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. I remember thinking that game looked fucking insane, like realistic, blah blah blah. Even the memory, when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of like Fallen Order graphics, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember the intro when he plays Darth Vader, but when you go back and play that game, it's like, wow, it really doesn't look that good. It's insane how like your rose-tinted glasses really shift how older games really looked.
Well, the human brain is designed to filter out the bad stuff over time, so we look at everything a little bit more fondly in the past. So makes sense. Speaking of one thing that I think of fondly in the past, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's going to Epic Game Store. It'd be great if I didn't stutter on that too. Nice little transition. Fuck. It's coming to Epic Game Store on December 16th this year. So by the time a lot of our listeners are hearing this episode, it's out now, which is cool to see. It's available on PC. This is the Intergrade version, which I know you played, so you'll probably have more thoughts than me because I've only played the base game.
The Intergrade version is a big step up, and I'd say graphically it's very similar, but obviously you get that 4K resolution. 60 frames, which looks amazing.
Yes.
And the intermission DLC is really good. I feel like the content itself, like the story, is like above average, but what I really liked about that DLC was Yuffie. The way she plays fits so well with the Final Fantasy VII Remake turn-based action system. I think she's definitely the best character.
I remember watching you stream that to our server, and that it looked fun.
And I love the music too. The music is so good, but not on Xbox.
It seems to be a theme this show.
Square Enix wants that bag. They're like, yeah, Sony, give us the money. Oh, Epic Game Store, you want to be exclusive?
Yeah, right. No Steam, just Epic Game Store. Like, I don't know what's with Square Enix. They like guaranteed money, I guess, but I can't blame them. Certainly, I can't.
I want to say I respect it, but man, this game was supposed to be on Xbox a year after, and Sony's not letting them go.
No, they're not. And they're like, you can go to Epic.
They're pulling their tail.
Yeah,
you can go on PC. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm guessing it'll go to PC Game Pass eventually. I doubt it, though. They'll have to make a whole new SKU probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's basically putting on an Xbox with how close they are.
So,
yeah. I don't. That's wild. Not on Xbox.
Great game, though.
So Xbox fans who were waiting for that, who were like, "Oh, it's coming out on PlayStation. I just have to wait a year." They're fucked, man. They're gonna have to buy a PS5 or PS4, or I guess PC.
One little note I made here during when we were talking about Silent Hill and Del Toro clearly teasing like, oh, new Silent Hill game. Wish they would do something like that, right? Clear tease there. Right before that, Kojima was like, I'll be at the Game Awards next year, and he really only shows up now. He only shows up when he has something to show off. So I think
Silent Hill, guys.
Yeah, Silent Hill or whatever he's working on with Xbox. It's gonna be one of those two. Is gonna be at the show next year for sure.
The way I see it is like Del Toro, that was pre-recorded, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to be responsible for like something being said that isn't true, like Silent Hill coming out. So they gave him saying that to clear, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you got like Del Toro, Kojima, and Jeff all sitting in a room like jerking each other off. They're all best buds. So I think they're clearly hinting towards Silent Hill coming out, which I respect. Yeah, that was funny.
I just didn't expect it. That's why I think unexpected humor works on me the best, because if I don't expect it, you'll get a laugh out of me out of just like, whoa.
A nice decent argument, putting up my points, and I just throw a joke in there.
Yeah, that's it. That's all my brain can process at that point. But yeah, Kojima at the Game Awards next year. Him and Jeff will be doing just fine together, so we're looking forward to them showing up. Next is A Plague Tale Requiem. It got its first gameplay trailer. It's going to be a day one Game Pass game. But honestly, yeah, Plague Tale Requiem looks incredible to me. I thought that A Plague Tale Innocence was really good. What's funny is I was recording my video last night, and A Plague Tale Requiem was a word that you've read in my videos, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've had it when you're recording your own videos, is like,
Requiem.
Yeah. Like I would Requiem. I said A Plague Tale. Like I could not stop Wing it up. Yeah. Like I just kept like a Plague Tale. Like I just couldn't get it out. I just looking at it reminded me, but completely irrelevant. How are you feeling about this follow up here to Plague Tale Innocence?
I got to play the first one. I got to play the first one because this looks awesome. I really liked it, and I don't know how the first one plays at all, but. I mean, she was pulling the crossbow out. The environments looked fantastic. It's got a good setting, which already is intriguing to me.
Yeah.
See all the rats running around. Like, I want to play this. It looks cool. But I'm not
done. And as the walls come down,
since I haven't played the first one, I got to hop on that because this looks really good. I imagine it's not a big or a super long game either.
10 hours tops, literally 10 hours tops. Yeah, it's a really
like
easy play. Yeah, it's a really easy playthrough, and it flies by because it's so like streamlined together. It's really well made. It's a AA game, so it's not going to blow your mind on a graphical level, but this is a Focus Home interactive game. So if anyone wants to see why I support this company and I think they're really good with the games they publish, this is one reason why. Plague Tale Innocence is one of the best things they've published, and I cannot wait to see Requiem, which looks like it has a true budget. Really good stuff. Again, day one Game Pass. All right.
Love to see Xbox finally getting some representation here.
Yeah, here we go. We got some more with Crossfire X campaign arriving February 10th, 2022. So this thing is being sent out to die. This is this thing, man. They're like, Xbox has been sitting on this one for ages. They're finally getting out, and they're like, Elden Ring. What else we got there? A Horizon, and we've got Crossfire X. Like, fuck.
Dude, the soldiers stepping out of the ship into battle is how the game is going right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Like they're stepping off the beaches of Normandy, man. Like this is it.
This isn't even for those who are wondering. It's not even on Game Pass. Like this is a game you got to pay for.
Yeah. Dude, oh, this game is gonna do horrible.
I know.
Like I'm not trying to be mean for any Crossfire hyped fans out there, but it didn't look that like crazy.
It looks like a COD campaign.
Yeah, it looks like a COD campaign. It doesn't look very derivative. It has a free to play multiplayer that's like CS:GO, whatever. But man, they really are like sending this game out to die. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so this is one that I don't really have much excitement for, to be honest. Not unhappy to see it, but happy to finally see it get out.
But the next one, Sonic Frontiers. This is a huge, in my opinion, besides Hellblade, probably the biggest sort of reveal.
The fact that you're on the Sonic train and I'm on the Sonic train is saying something.
Dude, I'm not a Sonic fan, but this looked awesome.
I agree. What stood out to you most? I think I have the answer, but as a starter here.
Oh, the graphics for sure.
Oh, really? It was the graphics.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, what about for you?
The open world, like.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, but to me, it's just like it looked phenomenal. Like when I think Sonic, I think very, not fantasy, very cartoony, right? But this gave me, funnily enough, Breath of the Wild vibes. But the world looked like Xenoblade.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Yeah,
I think like Xenoblade Chronicles look to it, and I really like that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I always say that like Sonic's biggest issue is like when you're going fast, you can't see where you're going. So I never thought of it because I didn't think they'd ever do it because they didn't seem like they cared enough. But I was, seeing that they're going to put it in an open world, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that feeling of speed is going to feel real. It should feel really good.
It's going to have to be a really big open world with how fast Sonic moves, though.
Yes, absolutely.
But dude, this is actually good because one problem people had with a game like Breath of the Wild was it was a massive world, but I don't think it's an empty game, but it definitely has a lot of vast open space. That's just environment. So Sonic Frontiers can really like take that and make something special with it.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what little side content they put in there. Just because like that's what always interests me with these big Breath of the Wild style games. It's like Sonic has a lot of heritage. No matter how much I slandered it, it's got a lot behind it, right? And what do you tuck in there to kind of pay homage? Or is it just a space that takes you from one level to the other? Because there was a leak that called it Sonic Frontiers. They defined it as an open world game. And one of the things that they mentioned that our friend Sol told us about was that Sonic Frontiers is going to have these like portals that you go through and they take you to the boost stages, which is kind of like you watch me play like Sonic Unleashed. Like they take you to these set levels.
So it's got like a nice mixture of both there.
Yeah, which allows them to have their set levels and their open world. And honestly, in a lot of ways that kind of is Sonic Adventure style. Like Sonic Adventure, I just played it and it's not open world, but you have a lot of hub areas and then you'll enter a certain area and it'll bring you to the level. So it's that on a much bigger scale.
It sounds just like Mario Odyssey. I don't know if you remember how that worked.
Yes.
Big open world, and then you would go in a pipe or find a little cave or crevice, and suddenly it turns into like a platforming section that you're used to. And same with Breath of the Wild. You had the big open world.
Yeah,
you go into the shrines, and now you have the puzzles. So I respect it. It's weird seeing like this wave of these older games. I guess Breath of the Wild or Zelda and Mario aren't necessarily old games, but really like stepping into like this open world sort of thing and making taking open world and making it fit for that genre, because we see open world games I was mentioning earlier, it just doesn't work. or it's just pointless. Like, I'm curious when I finish Halo if I'm gonna think like, oh, Halo should stay open world or not.
Right.
So it's cool that these companies that really haven't really done it that much are trying it because, these IPs, because I think Sonic is a perfect pick for a game that could be open world.
Absolutely. I agree. That's coming holiday 2022, so really looking forward to that and seeing more of that. Halo TV show on Paramount Plus. I put this in here. This is some of my defining Duke notes. I don't know if you actually want to talk about this or not.
Honestly, I don't know, man. Halo TV show. I didn't watch the one that came out. I think it was called like Forward Unto Dawn or something.
I think so.
I don't know.
Sounds right.
Maybe someone in chat can correct me, but it's cool, I guess. It's Halo. Or Halo. Do you know what time period it's taking place in?
Nope. Apparently it's not canon, but that's just hearsay. Okay. I saw someone say that.
Don't care. Don't care then. Like, I literally don't care.
Yeah. They've been burned by Halo 5 where they're like, you know what? We know what happens when it's canon and it counts. So we're gonna non-canon this. But anyway.
Why ever release something that's non-canon? I don't get that.
I don't know. I guess it's just more Halo and it puts it on the map a little bit more, and that's all there is to it. I get why Xbox is doing it. To me, it matters a little bit less if it's not canon. But
yeah, me too. It really does.
Matrix Awakens. They dropped a tech demo for this. We know they capped off the show. We had our thoughts on how they capped off the show and why it was wrong. But did you have a chance to check out this tech demo at all? Did you see anything it offered online?
No. Is the demo like a game or is it just a tech demo?
So Cog was telling me about it, and he was saying like you've got these. There's like an open world section that you can like get in a car and drive around in. He said there's like see people walking around the city and there's like crosswalks and they're responding to the lights on the crosswalk at proper times, unlike, you look at something like Cyberpunk, which didn't do that. There was an on-rails shooting section. He said it looked really good. There was stuff about it that he really liked, but there were also things that he didn't seem too fond of, like the on-rail section. So it just seemed like a taste of what Unreal 5 can offer us. And I might give it a shot just to see what Hellblade does, but I don't think I really need it to understand, because I look at Hellblade and I'm like, I see and I get it. So Matrix to me just seems like a time waster right now.
To me, this little snippet of one game that they can optimize and make perfect is not going to ever exemplify how the actual game is going to look. I mean, I said the same thing with Hellblade, right? So I don't know. I'm not interested in. I'm not really a big Matrix guy anyway, but one of my good friends, I'm Cullen, loves the Matrix, so I do want to watch it eventually.
Interesting.
Yeah, he watched it not too long ago and he really liked it. So beyond that, we have Wonder Woman, which is a cool reveal. Apparently, the stand-in for Hogwarts Leg.
Yeah. This one was surprising. It's coming from Monolith, who worked on the Middle-earth series. And awesome. They did Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, and now they're doing this Wonder Woman game, which is stated to be single player, and it's going to have the Nemesis system, which I think is really interesting. Because like you kind of could figure out in your head, if you heard Nemesis system and what it did, how that would interact with the orcs, like they remember what you did. But who does Wonder Woman fight that she remembers?
In a city, like maybe gang members? I don't know. Like,
no, I don't think so, because it's her rise to. I forgot what exactly the quote says. I don't want to misquote it, but it's about her rising, her like origin story. If you will. So I don't think it'll be in a. Right? Yes, exactly. So it's not going to be like a cityscape or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it. At least on paper, sounds great. I think Monolith gets a lot of flack for Shadow of War, but I think a lot of people forget they've probably created one of the most innovative systems in gaming.
Oh, dude, that system is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and the Shadow of War was basically plagued by microtransactions. It's a quick lesson for them to learn. I don't know if they're going to do it with fuck up again.
Yeah, but you'd hope not, right? Yeah. But
we will see.
I'm very interested in this one. Not much to talk about because it was literally just a trailer of Wonder Woman's legs and then her face, and that was it. So on talent alone, I'm interested, but otherwise not crazy amounts. And then last game we have on this list that I wanted to go over was Alan Wake 2. They're making their first survival horror game at Remedy, and Sam Lake said, we're ready. We're ready for this now.
Dude, survival horror is one of my favorite genres, so give me. I haven't played Alan Wake. I feel like every time we're talking about something, I haven't played it, but I just haven't, So
there's a lot of games. I think that's going to continue to be a problem for everybody because there's so much stuff this year that I missed even. And I just, eventually you just have to hit the major releases if you want to stay in the conversation. So there's a lot of catch up to be done no matter where you're at.
That's what years like this year are for, like the backlog year. Right? We just trudge through all kinds of games. So
agreed. So that's everything from the Game Awards, Paul. Pretty fun to talk about it, maybe not to watch it. So anything you want to throw in there to cap it off, or we'll move into the patron questions?
I think we covered everything. Oh, there was that one. This is random, but remember that one game, Matt? You called it immediately. It was like the Fortnite game.
Oh,
where it was like a wrestling. You're like, what is this? A wrestling battle royale open world? And then you see immediately. It's exactly.
It
what
was
you said.
That was the moment of the stream because I called it to a T. I couldn't believe it. It was, for those who don't know, it was called like Brawlverse or something like that, and it's a fighting game that's like very battle royale like. And I knew nothing about this game going in, but the trailer starts up and it's showing random time periods and random warrior-based things. Nothing like really fighting. Indicating directly, but like hinting at it. And they're showing all these time periods. And I just started to get this Fortnite vibe where they have this method to their trailers where they go like, let's just deceive the audience, right? And let's like completely 180. And I literally sat there and went, watch, this is going to be some melee-based battle royale fighting game that looks like Fortnite. And it was that to a T. If anyone wants to check it out, there's the stream link on my Twitter. I actually nailed this thing, and it killed any interest I could have had because I was like, you were that fucking predictable. Rumbleverse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not interested anyway, but it just that was so funny when you predicted it like word for word.
Yeah,
bar for bar.
Bar for bar.
It was identical. Another game. What was something? BioShock. We didn't see BioShock.
BioShock wasn't there.
We were talking about that, and well, that got leaked by Colin, and then a little bit beforehand, like another name for it. So, I guess that's an E3 game. I think it was supposed to be 2022, right? I think that's what we heard.
2022 game, and Colin did report. He said that apparently it was supposed to be shown at the VGAs, but he said he heard it got bumped back to E3. So, his reporting was accurate, which is good to hear because then you can trust the other details that are there. Not that I distrusted Colin, but like you can run with it a little bit more and think about it.
Yeah, there's more credibility there.
And no BioShock, no Avowed, no Redfall. I know a couple of people expected that. No Breath of the Wild 2, I thought was a little surprising. I thought that
Nintendo, we're gonna see a direct like in the first quarter. I'm like pretty confident, or maybe second, but
they've been really quiet.
Yeah, they've been relatively quiet, and all we're getting is like these one games releasing on the Nintendo Switch expansion pass.
Yeah. Now that's a good call. I never even considered that. It's probably going to be time for them to do a direct shortly to set up the first half of 2021, maybe in like February or something like that. Right when a ton of games are coming out, they're going to like dopamine rush everyone.
When is Legends Arceus coming out? That's
oh yeah, they got to do a Pokemon Direct for that. That's January. That's end of January.
Oh wow, dude, that's soon.
That was another one I thought was going to get a trailer.
It did. They showed it, didn't they?
They showed it in like a montage, but it wasn't like new footage, as far as I remember. I could be wrong on that.
Hold on, let me just check because I thought today I saw like new trailer, but it was kind of like a YouTube thumbnail or YouTube.
Oh,
so I don't know.
One of those.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check on that one. Maybe someone in chat. Yeah, see like new Pokemon Legends Arceus gameplay trailer. Yeah, one day ago. This is Game Rant. New footage and reveals battle theme. Okay. So I guess there was maybe it was a new trailer that had, or an old trailer that had new footage jammed into it, but
yeah, it might have been. Yeah, honestly, it spotlights one thing that I forgot to mention, which is like the transition between ads and commercials and when the show was picking back up was like there was no telling. Like you could tell. So we didn't know when they were showing something new like that. Like that probably went over our heads because we were looking at our phones or we were talking with the chat and just chilling, like not really thinking the show was on. And so then when it actually picked up and went world premiere or Jeff was there on screen, like the transitions were awful. I forgot about that, and that spotlights why.
Yeah, no, that's a good point to bring up, and that is partly due because of all the ads. Because you had ads that would happen after transition, you had ads that were happening in the middle of Jeff talking, like on the sidebar, like presented by Grubhub or Final Fantasy 14 Grubhub free delivery. Like
apparently, Cog took advantage of that midstream. He ordered food.
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
So
yeah, you get a free pizza emote in Final Fantasy 14. Dude, Matt, I'm feeling the burn for that game.
Really?
Like it's creeping up on my ass. Yeah, seeing the Endwalker stuff. Like I want to play it.
I haven't seen any Endwalker stuff. I've seen my boy fighting Cowboy, like geeking out over it. Laylee wanted to play it. I told her, I said I'm down. I couldn't use the free trial because on my PlayStation where we'd have to play it. I already used the trial. Yeah, so I'd have to buy it and sign up with a subscription to play all the Realm Reborn shit. And I told her, I was like, look, I'll do anything for you, but I'm just gonna let you know I've played 30 hours of this thing and it sucked. So I do not want to play it all over again.
I'm on that, like, I want to buy Heaven's Sword and see what's going on. Like buy the jump to it, but I won't. But people are saying, like, I remember seeing a few game journalists talking about how good these expansions are for like an MMO, and it just pisses me off because I want to play it, but that first
one game we wish we were caught up on.
Yeah, right. That'd be insane. It's like my Genshin Impact. Like, I'm all caught up on Genshin. I love that game, but if I wasn't, I feel like I'd be feeling the burn, and I'm feeling it for Final Fantasy 14.
Maybe one of these days, like me, you, Maya, Laylee, we'll get together. We'll just take a team dive, and since everyone's in it, we should be able to pull out of it.
Hopefully. That's a whole raid squad, or not raid squad. That's a whole dungeon group right there.
Hell yeah. All right, let's move on to the Patron questions and see what everyone's got going on. Yeah, do we have any?
Yeah, we got Josh Anderson and Drunk Volcano.
Josh Anderson? Let's hear what Josh is up to. He DM'd me. He was like, "What are you guys doing?"
Josh, what's going on, man?
If we were doing the show, so I thought he was just checking because we were setting up like editing plans.
Dude, Josh got up early for this. Australia.
Yeah, get himself started for the day.
Hey,
Hey,
I forgot to unmute myself.
On, man?
Hey, Kobe. Wait, I have to turn on my camera.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm
excited for the outfit reveal.
Yeah, the drip reveal.
Right, because last time he was here,
expectations are high.
The vest was on. We had the white button up.
The persona fit.
Yes.
Okay, hopefully the camera works. I forgot to set it up.
I'm in my pajamas.
I only just have like a
Levi.
shirt, so it works.
There we go.
Yeah.
What's going on?
You can see the nice TV in the background. How are you guys?
I'm doing well, man. Are you in the lounge you were telling me about that you set up, the new office space? Dude.
Yes. Fuck, I think
awesome.
I just hit something in the background.
I love it, man.
Yeah. I like your game tower. You got a lot of physicals there.
I got a message as well. I missed what Kobe said because of it. I have the game tower as well. Actually,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
I love that shit, bro.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
It looks like a giant speaker almost.
I should go on speakers actually, because the TV audio is a bit off. At least for Halo.
What's going on, bro? It's good. It's good to hear from you. I know we DM like every day, but it's good to see your face from time to time. Hear your voice.
Yeah, it's good seeing all you guys again. I've been meaning to get on the show for like 12 weeks. I've been sleeping in.
Oh, that's okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
For the first time you were here was amazing, so we're very happy to see you again.
Okay, good. I was on the first episode, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you were there. We did the persona. We did the white. What was it? The waifu.
We did the persona. No, it wasn't a waifu thing. It was the persona casting.
Oh, casting! Yeah,
the quest.
The movie.
I hear persona, and my mind goes to waifu. That's just, sorry about that.
Understandable. But I have something similar.
Right.
Because I was having a shower and I just thought of a dumb idea. I was like, okay, we have to make we're developers and we have to make a new game to compete with Super Smash Bros.
Oh.
And we can pick any character from any franchise.
Wow.
It just has to be characters from. It has to be characters not from Super Smash. So not Joker from Persona, not Solid Snake.
So you gotta pick.
So are we picking like a type of like studio that owns these characters, or like?
That can be from any platform or anything.
So we're creating a roster essentially.
Yeah, we're creating a roster. We'll do 3 serious ones each, and like 3 dumb ones.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Because I also have Photoshop open right here, and I already photoshopped characters on like a Super Smash Bros. Background.
Oh.
And it looks ridiculous.
Let's see here. I'm
You
looking.
want me to go first?
Yeah,
Because I already
if
did
you got one. Yeah, because I'm looking around my room real quick just to see what's been picked.
Yeah, get that inspiration in.
Yeah, get the
Yeah,
brains
okay.
as well. I think I got one, but go first.
I got
I'll
one.
I'll do a serious one, and then I'll do like a dumb one real quick.
Okay.
Kiryu from Yakuza.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because everyone's been wanting him in Smash, but we can grab him. And he works for fighting games. Another dumb one was Teddy from Persona 5, Persona 4.
Oh my god.
We don't get anyone else, just Teddy. Like, where you guys go? I have more, but I'll save it for after you guys.
So let's see. I gotta get I have a serious one. I gotta think of a dumb one. Okay, I got my serious one. It is a 2B. Gotta love 2B, guys. You know 2B.
Okay.
I literally predicted you saying that.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, 2B. 2B's not surprising.
I love Nier Automata. Love my waifus. Great fighting styles. Perfect fit for a fighter. And then my goofy pick is Paimon from Genshin Impact.
Oh, that's a good
Paimon
goofy pick.
Yeah, no. If you guys don't know who Paimon is, she's like a fairy that follows you around a Genshin Impact. She's like that token, like she's almost like a Teddy type character, like a mascot. She's really funny. Matt's struggling right now.
I am struggling a little bit because there's so many I'm trying to like rack my brain on. And Smash has done such a good job that I'm like running through the games I own. Yeah, okay, so my serious pick would be Darth Revan. I would be over the fucking moon if any platform fighter dared to do that. So Darth Revan will be my serious one. I'm trying to think of a goofy one here.
Bentley.
Why are you coming up with these good ideas? Like, I feel like my brain just is lacking the creative spark right now.
I'm just thinking of like characters that wouldn't really fit in a fighting game.
Yeah, like Bentley is
like
Bentley from Sly Cooper is a perfect fit. Like, I'm gonna go.
It'll be like Sly Cooper 3 Bentley, where he's like in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he's got like the power.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I thought of.
It's funny because I was gonna mention Munch from Munch's Odyssey because like Munch is like this guy with one leg that just not one leg, but like one little. He's a creature with like these small skinny arms. He's got a fucking big ass head, like a tiny body, and he's got this one flipper that he just bounces around on. It's a really unique creature design, but like he would just get destroyed in a Smash game. Like his way of getting around quickly is by getting in a wheelchair and he like whoop whoop whoop. He like goes really fast. So I feel like that would be my goofy pick for anyone out there who's played Oddworld. Like that would be definitely my pick. Munch from Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey. You said you had a whole list though, three for each.
Yeah, I had.
If I struggle with number one, I'm hoping my brain turns it up real quick here.
I just looked at my game shelf and my mind's rolling. I'm ready. Or Josh, but I think it's your turn.
Okay, yeah, it's my turn. So I have. I'll do the serious one first. Max Payne.
Oh,
okay.
I like that.
Good one.
I like that.
Yeah, he's like Super Smash can be like slowing down time, so it works.
Yeah, the bullet time mechanic. I like that.
Yeah, and the other one is everyone's been asking for Master Chief.
Yeah,
we won't get him, but we'll get a Grunt.
Oh, we're gonna get the Grunt.
I love that. If they die, they get the birthday party. Like the
yay! That would actually be sick.
And just dumb lines from the game.
Paul, where are you at? You said you were like Omega inspired here.
I got a bunch. So okay.
I got one. Can I just throw one out there because I am.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me just throw one out there as like the pity kind of like. All right, Matt's trying. I'm gonna go with Monokuma. This could be serious.
Fuck you, Matt. Fuck you. That was mine. Yeah, dude, I was like Monokuma. I saw V3 on my shelf, like, yeah, this is gonna sound so cool.
Sorry, I was just like, my head went there. I was like, that's like you could go serious or goofy. I don't actually know where he would fit because I think he'd be a sick addition. But like, if you got a shit talking Monokuma in there that talks like the Mono Cubs, bro, I would be all over that.
The Mono Cubs are like the Super Smash, like they all come in.
Yes.
And Autonomy.
I hope you have more suggestions beyond that because I only have like one more that's coming to my head here.
Okay, so I got John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
I love John Marston. And he's a cowboy. Love cowboys. I think you can throw all kinds of shit into his kit. And then Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't know how they do that, but that's a good pick.
That's
fucked.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Because if she's the one who I think I know. Is she the one with the ponytail?
I'm not gonna. She's the green-eyed one with the brown hair, ponytail.
She has.
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
she has the long hair.
I think I was thinking of Sayori. Yeah.
Matt hasn't played. No, Sayori's the one with the red bow and like the short pinkish hair.
She's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, she's the one I was thinking of, and I was like, about her.
Monica's my favorite, so that's why I picked her.
Right. The other one I was thinking of, because I was looking around my room and I saw it. This could be nowadays in 2021. This would be a joke pick, but I think down the line it might be a good serious one. Johnny Silverhand. I think that'd be a cool one from Cyberpunk.
That's not a bad pick.
Like his taunts, like if they pick the taunts that are from those Keanu Reeves meme edits, like the something about the body and.
If I needed your body, I'd fuck it.
Yeah, right. It's like like if they just did that for his taunts, that'd be incredible. So I gotta rock with Johnny Silverhand.
Okay.
All right, Josh, your turn. What you got?
Okay. This is a bit cheating, but
okay, that's fine.
Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah.
Because they have Solid Snake.
Right.
We don't have Big Boss. So
okay.
I get it. It's a fine line.
You're on the cusp, but that's okay.
Yeah, it works. And the other one is, I can't remember the character's name. I think it's like Nathan or something from Beyond Two Souls, and he's played by William Dafoe.
Which is that the pig
Native
character?
American one?
No, the William Dafoe plays like a character in Beyond Two Souls.
That's the game that
the Quantum Dream game.
Oh wait, he's the sign. Why was I thinking of Beyond Good and Evil? Is what I was thinking of. That's why I was like, is he the pig character?
Yeah.
You're probably looking at me like, what's this guy on right now? Pig character.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's a really strange pick, but I respect it.
Yeah, it's a dumb pick. And right now on the Photoshop, I just have William Dafoe standing next to Teddy, a Grunt, and Big Boss, and it looks ridiculous.
Okay. I just had one in mind. Now I lost.
Oh.
Damn it, Matt. I'm still pissed you stole Monokuma from me. That was my.
I think that was a Pardon the Pun ultimate pick there, but
yeah.
I'm gonna throw Shrek in there. I think
Shrek. Yeah, we had a game.
I feel like Shrek has that shaggy. Meme energy where like kind of like what we're seeing with multiverses, like you're gonna see people go like, yo, Shaggy's in this game, this is sick, but also like, haha, Shaggy's in this game. I feel like Shrek brings that energy to the table, where if I were making a Smash game and I could pick anybody, I want Shrek, because people would be like, yo, ogre power, let's go.
Okay, I got a serious pick, and then I'm still thinking about my goofy one. I'll get there, but some horror rep here. I'm gonna go with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
Okay.
Oh man,
really iconic character.
It's funny you bring that up. I saw a lot of Photoshops when PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale was coming out, and people were like guessing characters, and Pyramid Head was getting Photoshopped a ton.
Dude, that's so
I remember that as well.
He's a good pick, bro. I think he could fit in there.
I got another goofy pick. Preston Garvey. That would be that.
Preston Garvey would be
like
good.
if you gave him the laser musket, like this guy would have the best one-liners. That would be another Shaggy level pick. Hold on, the brain's turning now. Like I'm getting things going. The cobwebs are coming loose. I think that would be one that I would be authentically excited about, but I know most people would be laughing up a storm, because I'd be like, yo, you get to actually play as Preston Garvey. Come on.
All right, I got a goofy pick. Everybody's gonna hate it, but I saw it on the shelf and I thought it'd be perfect for me to pick this character.
I think I know.
No one's gonna know it either. Wait, who is it, Matt? I want to.
Atelier Ryza.
Oh, no, yes.
Yeah.
Atelier Ryza in Smash Clone. Throw her in there. She's got the magnified proportions. She's a perfect fit.
Body slam.
Audience. No idea how to spell that name.
I will type it in podcast question. Actually, no. I'll type it in sexy chat, so you can look her up and throw her in there.
Just be careful when you search her name.
I think it'll be.
Oh my god.
Yeah, don't scroll too far.
Yeah, I don't know how much how far you go before you can't tell the difference between the game and the fan material.
Oh yeah, I remember these characters.
Okay, yeah. Matt, I think you need a serious one, don't you? Or are we good?
Yeah, I think I need one more serious one.
Oh, there's porn. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna pick Isaac Clarke, but I remember Isaac is in.
That's so cool.
He's in PlayStation All Stars though, so it doesn't really count.
He is.
Yeah, you can kind of have him.
He's in DLC.
Like stepping.
Yeah, like that would be amazing. I'm gonna go with Commander Shepard. Is who I'm gonna pick. My last one. I think
Fem Shep or Male Shep or both.
Both skins, right?
You can have,
male,
right,
fem,
cool.
right? Keep them both in there. I think that would be a good one.
I'm a Fem Shep kind of guy, but
I love Fem Shep. I think Jennifer Hale's amazing. So I'm
for
with
sure
you on that. So I think that would be my pick. There's a lot of move sets there. You got the biotics. You've got the soldier. You got the Vanguard. Like there's so many ways that you can craft a kit for Shepard. He actually would have been a great surprise. Like obviously Sora was the one that people wanted, but like if there was a surprise upset pick, I think people would be kind of stoked if Commander Shepard was like the final Smash character in a way.
What about this is a little off topic, but Big Daddies and Little Sisters from BioShock. That's a good pick.
Was Big Daddy in
he has.
He's
in Big Daddy in PlayStation.
I have the copy of the game in my room. I'm pretty sure the Big Daddy was in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
I get it.
Man, I need to play. It sounds like I need to play this game because it got a lot of cool characters.
They did have a lot of characters. The game should have done better. Yeah, look at that. Yep,
wow.
There he is. Yeah.
Wow, you got.
It still looks like a weird Photoshop.
What's funny is the box art. Yeah, the cases in Australia are way better for PlayStation 3. You guys had the blue hue.
Oh no! I actually just like added because I bought this like used a couple months ago, and the case was broken, so I just used the PS4.
Oh, okay. It actually looks way better. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, it does look nicer. So
yeah, good stuff there. Josh, that was a fantastic question, man.
Wait, do you have the Photoshop? I want to see
do you have the Photoshop?
I haven't completed it yet, but I'll add what I have. I'll add what I already have with like the characters I already did beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I'll add it to Sexy Chat.
Hell yeah.
Well, if anybody's on the Discord, they can check it out, Matt. I think maybe in post you can put it on the screen for people on YouTube.
That's just,
let me see, because I don't have the thing set up here where it will like capture. So
okay.
Yeah, because it's designed to right now. It's like I had to undo it for what's his name's stream, Drunk Volcano, and it took me a while to refix it. But you have to like reorient everyone. So I can't show it here, but anyone who's a patron can go ahead and see it.
If it's a patron only.
Yeah, shout out to the paying customers.
I want to see this in a couple minutes.
You can see it for some money.
2B and all that.
Oh man, Josh, that was mad funny.
I love that
question.
question.
I just love how there's William Dafoe and Defoe on just the far left.
I know. If I'm honest, I didn't know who he was, but now I just think like Green Goblin and Smash.
Yeah, I was thinking like the Super Smash would just be him becoming Green Goblin.
Yeah.
No,
that's the story.
It's just literally just the actor instead of the character.
Yeah.
The way he's doing that pose while everyone else is like, oh my god.
It looks like you, Matt. Like that looks like a pose you do. Girl douchebag.
With like the suit, like that one time, what's it for a video?
These photoshops are like way too clean for the type of joke project this is. Like I'm looking at the edges.
Yeah, I fucking love the grunt. This is amazing. I can't wait to see the final product, to see like anime characters next to like William Dafoe. When do you finish your send it? Because I want to tweet this.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd love that.
Amazing. But thank you for having me on.
Of course, dude.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Josh.
Pleasure to talk to you, man.
Wait, are you guys doing an episode next week or?
Matt, are we pre-recording or?
Yeah, we're doing an episode next week. Next week is like our normal schedule, and then we get to just pre-record some stuff.
Okay,
nice. I'll try again next week.
Looking forward to it, bro.
Yeah,
it's good talking to you, Josh.
Hey, yeah, it was fun being on, and I'm glad I actually managed to join an episode for once.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you,
man. What time is it? Just real quick before you go.
It's 12 p.m. currently.
Oh wow! So you're really sleeping in.
Yeah, I'm really sleeping in. I woke up at like 1 or 2 p.m. most days, but now I'm fixing it up.
I feel you on that.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I accidentally did that the other day. I haven't done that in years though. But like I woke up at 2 p.m. and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible.
You can tell how I haven't played many games this year just because of how bad my sleep schedule has been.
Right.
So I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'll have to get work done.
Yeah, immediately. Me too. That's like first thing I do.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like this. Sorry, this is all. I know you're trying to get out, Josh, but I've been trying to get some morning gaming in before my work. Like I wake up a little early. It's a good way to start. You know, like
really, I can't do that. I just can't.
It's just
I can't.
I respect
like a
you doing it
reward.
though. I think it's great that you can.
I hate waking up and just immediately getting to the grind. Like it just, I guess it's good clockwork, but it just feels so like I dread going to sleep.
Right.
So now having that like that time to myself in the morning is kind of nice.
Yeah. I have to play it well with it because, like, I feel like once I just sit down and play games, I'm just not gonna stop. I'm gonna be like, one more hour, and then it's like, okay, I didn't do work.
Yeah.
Especially with like,
I've been
there.
not doing.
Yeah, but no, we've all been there, bro.
Especially with Matt breathing down your neck.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
As both of them talk about neglecting work, and I'm sitting there like, so now I know when I don't get an edit, what happens. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. As Maddie like drops a bunch of videos on me.
Here,
Here
Josh.
you go, Josh. Enjoy your week. Enjoy
It's
Christmas
like
break.
5 videos.
Yeah.
Here's your Christmas break.
You'll get a $2 bonus.
I love how you're predicting. Like,
Listen.
I did just drop a plethora of videos for Josh for a vacation. I did promise him a bonus and a raise. And I was just like, we just got to get through this week, man. We're done.
Matt's got to make sure this bonus is nice to Josh to make a point.
Yeah. $3.
Yeah, I don't need to twit longer
Yeah.
saying like
$60.
my experience working with Mr. Matty Plays.
Mr. Matty Plays.
He bled me dry and then didn't give me a bonus.
He made me work for exposure.
I've been there. It's not a good feeling. We don't operate like that.
Yeah.
May's been treating me well.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to.
Matt's a good employer for sure.
Oh, thank you guys. That does mean a lot to me. So I appreciate
All right. Thanks, Josh, for sticking around. We're kicking you out now. You've been here too long.
I've been here too long.
Just kidding.
I need to escape.
All right, Josh.
See you guys.
Peace out,
See you,
man.
man.
Peace.
Good. He's getting to work.
All
now.
right. Fuck the stream. We're going to work.
When he joined,
All
I was
right,
like, "What are you
finally.
doing here?"
We're gonna bring in Drunk Volcano and get through some of our patron questions and wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
All right, Drunk Volcano. Been missing you, my man.
What's going on,
What's
Drunk?
going on?
I heard someone's missing me. Kopi, if that was you, you ain't gonna be missing me soon. So,
Oh,
I do remember
friend,
last
okay.
week. Last week he said he had something to bring up
Yep.
with you, and we racked our
Oh,
brains on it. And we
yeah.
were like, "Oh, we don't know," and we forgot about it.
so
All right.
a
I'm
little
ready.
pre-prep story time.
Okay.
Maybe about 6-7 weeks ago, Kopi mentioned something that was absolutely vile. Honestly,
Oh, no.
made me slightly lose respect for the man.
Why?
But
Oh, the fact you had some anyway. Okay.
it's he likes crunchy mac and cheese over creamy mac and cheese.
No. This is slander. I never said I liked it more.
No.
I said it's good.
You-
Dude, that
I-
box mac and cheese. Listen, Volcano, listen. That box mac and cheese you're holding in your hand is nothing is better than that mac and cheese. I stand by that.
Are you covering for your ass, or did my
No, I'm
ears
serious.
deceive me?
No, they
No,
didn't.
I'm like-
Trust me.
I'm planning
I've
on
been
making
there.
some tonight. Me and my girlfriend are gonna be.
All
chowing
right,
down.
because I had a whole argument prepared.
Dude,
Okay.
no. I love it.
I fucking
So,
love it, bro.
I was gonna go off the different types of mac and cheese. All right, since I'm a quick thinker, I got a plan B. Kopi, you have gotten respect again. It's okay.
Went back
Respect
up.
All right, I got some Fallout 3 story time.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, what year did Fallout 3 come out, Matt?
2008. Yeah.
All right, imagine 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 2010. This is a story of my father. So it's 2010. You're completing every single quest in the game. You have been on that grind. I mean, every single side quest. You're going to every location. You get to the end. Project Purity.
Mm-hmm.
You go to open up the door to Project Purity. The game loads. The game loads. The game loads.
Oh no, I already know.
And it loads. It doesn't stop loading. So what do? Oh, Just must be a bug. You take out the disc.
Mm,
Do the whole 9 yards. You clean the disc. You
yeah.
put it back in. You load in that save. It loads and loads and
No.
loads. Never loads.
No, dude.
My father, as I said, he gets angry quickly. He does it again and again. 3 times he tried to get that save to load. This fucking piece of shit! Goddamn disc!
Oh, he broke it.
Oh,
Snaps the
no,
disc.
Fallout 3
Breaks it.
disc.
Fallout 3.
Oh, man.
Gone. Reduce the atoms.
Quite
All right.
literally.
2 weeks later. All right, it was just a disc. Buys a new disc.
Oh, no.
He
It's a
goes
corrupted
in.
file.
He makes sure the disc clean. It's real clean. He loads it into the Xbox 360, starts it up, and it loads
No.
and loads and loads.
Is this the save file or is this starting the game up?
It has
It's the
to be
save file. He's loading the save, and all it does is load.
Are you talking about like you're going into the door, Project Jerry?
You're
I'm talking,
going
like, the gray door.
the door that's gray, and then you go into the door, and then
And you can't
talk
come
to
back
Kurt.
out.
You can't
Okay,
talk.
so he's
go back
actually
out, and
he's loading
he's
the
at
save
the
file,
very-
but he's not getting through the door to finish the game.
he's at the very end. He's done everything he could possibly do in that
Wow.
game.
Oh man.
So it comes around. This disc gets stuck in the wall. My dad's he's a big and strong man. This disc stuck into
Ninja
the
started.
wall.
Ninja started. Okay.
Ninja
Wow.
started. He's like, no, this can't be happening. Maybe it's just this disc. Who cares? A month goes by. He gets a new copy of Fallout 3.
Oh man.
And-
Now I know how Bethesda sells millions of copies. Go on.
Yeah, for sure.
He's dedicated to this cause. Because this didn't happen really that much back in the 360 days. But when you're buying used discs from GameStop, it could be a possibility.
Right.
For sure.
So, he makes sure it's clean. Pristine. The most immaculate looking disc we have in our entire collection. Washed, it's rinsed. It's perfect.
Clean
He
disc.
puts
Clean as
the
a whistle.
disc into the Xbox. He starts up the game. He loads the save file before opening that door. He goes into the door. Can you guys guess what happens?
It loads.
And
Didn't
load.
load.
And
And
loads.
Oh, it did.
And load.
Oh.
He almost throws the Xbox. I managed to stop him. He opens up the disc tray. We're in like an apartment. Screen doors open. Nice summer day.
No.
But middle of the road. He takes this Xbox. He chucks it. Good.
The whole
100 yards, 100 feet. He chucks it out into the street. Goes out and grabs the disc. Snaps it. Snaps it again. And snaps it again. And snaps it again. It's in pieces. Tiny pieces. He cuts his hand. He chucks it all into the ground. It's in the road. He ain't picking it up.
Wow.
He comes back inside. He's pissed. He plops down onto the
you
couch.
think he's pissed now?
He's extra pissed.
No, he's
He
pissed.
flops down onto the couch. He says, "Fuck it. I ain't playing another Fallout. I ain't buying another Fallout 3 disc again."
2 months
Couple
later.
months later, he buys it. This time, he's been broken. He admits defeat.
He starts a
It
new
still doesn't
save.
work.
He deletes the save file. He tries
Wow.
a backup save file. It doesn't work. He's
Oh.
he's okay. He is, like I said,
He
a
concedes.
broken man. He concedes. He basically speedruns Fallout 3 after that. He finally, and then this is also, after all that hardship, when New Vegas finally came out, he played it once, barely did anything, never played it again.
It tarnished
Wow.
his love for Fallout.
It honestly
horrible.
did.
That's hilarious what a bug can do, man.
He was corrupted save file on the 360 was the struggle. Now my question is, have you ever had a game that has made you this mad /
Oh.
dedicated for it to work? For
That
me, it was
is-
Wasteland 3.
That is a unique level of anger, if I'm
It
honest.
doesn't have to be as extreme.
Yes, not as extreme. I think the worst I've ever had in my lifetime. I was going through a pretty rough time, as my preemptive excuse was Dragon Ball Fighters. And that's funny because it's probably one of my favorite fighting games of all time. You know, as I've gone into Zen Matty phase, I remember playing it and I wanted to be the best at this game for whatever reason. Like, I just was obsessed with the idea of being the best at this game. And I remember I couldn't get the hang of it. And like, I don't know if it's because before I went in, I was mentally convinced I was going to be the best, but I could not stand it. I remember just one day I lost a fight and I remember like thumbing the eject drive on my PS4. Like, I was like, get the fuck out of my PS4. Paul, you've heard this story before because Trex tells it all the time because it was me, him, and I think Vinny in a PS4 party. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my PS4. Yeah, I'm like yelling at my system. Like, again, I was going through something rough. I can't even remember what it was, but like, it was clearly fierce because I don't have a temper really. I'm like, get out of my PS4. Disc ejects. I just grab it. And even then, this is how I know I don't have a temper because I'm conscious enough to know, don't break the disc, Matt. So I grab it flat, right? And I throw it flat towards my wall. I'm like,
pancake it.
Yeah, right. Pancake. Because I'm like, the data, I throw it graphic side up. You know, the data's going to be fine. It's just getting the anger out. You're going through a tough time. Here we go. I let it whirl. It goes and dives straight down and hits my carpet floor. I pick it up and it's shattered. I don't know how I did it. I'm not that strong of a guy, especially then I was not really working out like weights or anything. I'm like, yo, I just winged this thing so hard the wind resistance killed it. That's the most mad I've ever been at a game. Otherwise, I get annoyed at games, but not to the point of a physical like, yo. Because if your dad played Mega Man Zero, he would lose his fucking mind. You think he broke it like over a save file? Oh my God. That game, that's the one game that got me. Like, for me, it's usually an out of the seat grabbing my hair. But otherwise, that was the only time I think I've ever physically, like, done a thing. Because I just don't respond that way. Not that I'm perfect.
I break controllers and throw things all the time.
I respect it, but I just can't. I just don't want to.
I haven't done it in a while. I'm reformed.
Good.
I got
good.
I got a fancy controller.
Yeah.
And then I gotta
take care of it. Yeah. What about you, Paul?
I'm putting Paul to sleep. I see how it is.
Listen. It's been a long week, Volcano. It's been a long week, but I have a good story. Just a little story here. You know, little Paul cost the Lombardo family a lot of money when it came to his PS2. I always wanted games, always wanted controllers. I really wanted a multi-tap for some reason, even though I didn't have 4 people to play my console with. If you don't know what a multi-tap is, it allows you to plug in 4 controllers to your PS2.
Yeah.
And I must not have taken very good care of my games because they always seem to break, or they always did back in the day. And this is back when, you know, you actually needed the data on the disc to work or else your game would skip. You know, you can't it's not just an unlock key. So here I am on my PS2. I'm sitting there with my little DualShock 2, I think it's called, and I'm putting a game in. It doesn't load. So I put another game in. It doesn't load. And none of my games are loading. And, you know, this is to the point where I'm like young enough to where I don't realize that it's the console and not my games. So I'm like, who broke my games? Why are my games working? So I put another game in. So when it starts to load a little bit, I actually get through to the main title, and then it freezes, and then my console shuts off, or I shut it off. I can't remember. I'm pissed. I think my console, this is a chonky PS2, so I'm not sure, but I think the chonky PS2 had disk drive issues or something. But basically, it just wasn't working. And this is when I eventually got my Slim. So I take my DualShock controller and I throw away. And these things are attached to your console, right? So I boomerang this bitch, and it hits the back, like behind, under my dresser, but behind it, because it's kind of like open, cracks. I get another one. And this time I got pissed at something in some game. Toss it, cracks. I'm breaking DualShocks. I've broken at least 3 DualShocks. Eventually, I got like they released these DualShock controllers that were see-through. They had like a red one and a blue one.
Those are amazing.
Really cool. Yeah. No, they cracked. I fucked up my controllers for some reason.
At least you can see what was fucked up in it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
I broke one of those too, actually, now that you mention it, because out of jest, I remember we were doing an MLB The Show tournament at my friend's house, and I lost the game. There was a huge blanket in front of me, right? So what I did was I grabbed the controller and I like just momentum through it. Like I didn't, swing my arm down. Like I like put it at top and let my arm fall. So then I just released the controller to kind of like act like I was throwing it, but like to do dramatic flair. And I shit you not, it shatters like the way you described, like it shatters.
Wow.
And what happened was that plastic controller, my friend goes to point and laugh. It's my friend Connor, one of my good friends growing up. And he's like, he points and laughs. He's like, ha ha, like, laughing at the fact that I just broke my friend Ivan's controller by accident. And then he realizes that a shard of it like impaled his hand. So he goes, ha ha. He looks at his hand. He's like, oh, like that. He rolls back. Like he realized after when he pointed, he saw his hand was impaled. I was like, bro.
Wow.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen because I've never seen someone have like a delayed reaction to pain like Connor had there. It was incredible.
He actually noticed it, and then that's when he
the brain fired up.
Yeah, his brain was asleep then at that point. But Paul, you were about to tell a second part of your story there with the controller.
No, that's pretty much it. I know I was just destroying DualShock 2s left and right. My parents would always take me. I remember Target was the place. Target and Walmart. Like, all right, let's go get a new controller. I was surprised. My dad was pretty aggressive. I was surprised that he was like putting up with it, that he actually ended up buying me the controllers. But I think if I dig deep into my psyche, I feel like my mom was definitely the giving hand when it came to buying me new controllers.
Telling him to go take you.
The last controller I broke was my Xbox. Oh no, sorry. Xbox One, or no, Xbox Series X controller the other day. This is my new one, courtesy of Xbox. I spilt chocolate milk on my Xbox Series X controller that came with my Series X.
I busted a keyboard that way. Spilled drink.
And it just doesn't. None of the buttons work except for the joystick. I had to download Halo Infinite on PC. I grinded it on the PS5 controller through Steam, and now I'm better with it, which kind of sucks. But anyway, what I liked about Xbox, this is getting derivative from my stories. They sent me this controller for free, totally free under warranty. I didn't have to send my other controller in, and it was free shipping. And it came within a week, which is pretty insane for Microsoft. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what happened with my DualShock.
The tall tale of Paul breaking controllers.
Dude, the PS2 would make you mad when a disc wouldn't read. It would literally make you see red because the way the blocks came up, and then they're all red too. And you knew some didn't work. And it was,
dude, it was creepy. I remember staying up late for like a little kid, late as 11 p.m.
Yeah, now it's like an early night.
Well, for me, when I was young, my mom was like 7 p.m. sleep time, so 11 p.m. was like late.
Yeah,
I'd be playing, and I'd get that red screen. And it was like creepy. I thought my console was possessed. I'm talking like gaming creepypasta levels. Like I was freaked out. It was funny. I love the PS2.
I do too. I always got nervous though with the Slim. Like the Slim is such a sturdy console, but it looks like you could break in a heartbeat.
Like a book.
Yeah.
Something you can like break over your knee. Yeah.
It's not a system that belongs on the floor. I had a friend who always had his PS2 Slim on the floor, on the hardwood floor.
Step on it.
I'm just like, dude, you step on that, just one misstep by anyone, it's done. It's done. You could be a toddler and step on it, it's done. Like it's such a, it's sturdy because it lasts a long time. And maybe sturdy isn't the right word, but like it can last a long while. I still have mine that works.
It's put together well.
But if you step on it, shit's done. Done in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Now you have the PS5, which looks like it's wearing a suit vest.
Yeah, that's such a really good point. I never heard
that shit rigged up.
Yeah. And that thing will never break. It'll just break your discs instead. Like it does the opposite. It's like you can't break me, I'll break you.
The Ninja Star story is like even more realistic for Matt. He's got a Ninja Star version of
I could kill someone now if that.
He sharpens that shit.
Yeah, with my PS5 sharpening my discs and that thing, like that's a weapon, man. That's
you can't bring that on a plane.
Yeah,
like,
you couldn't.
Sorry,
couldn't travel with my games, man. That's it.
Some Hitman level shit right there.
That'd actually be amazing if they did a troll job like that, but I doubt it.
All right. Well, the conversation's dying down. I'm hopping out of here.
All right, Volcano.
I still to wrap it up. All right, see you guys.
Great talking
to you.
Peace out.
I wish I could have shat on you, but it is what it is.
Hey, think of something for next week. Think of something that really bothered you that we said and bring it in. Because
you've been a great guy, so it's been hard. I found that one thing.
You got Matt. You got Matt here.
I've shat on Matt a lot. I don't know what else to shit on Matt for.
Oh, dude.
Let's go. That list is short. I got you done in 11 weeks.
I can send you a playbook, man. I can send you a playbook of things to shit on that with.
I'll do it. I'm gonna shit on you for not reading write-ins for 3 weeks and making my write-in irrelevant.
Hey,
irrelevant.
The quicker you leave, the quicker we're getting to the write-in.
He leaves.
He left. No, he knows we're playing around. Love Volcano.
All good.
All right, Matt. It's right in time. Finally,
right in time. Yeah. Apologies to those who are waiting, but that's the balance we have to strike here with call-ins and write-ins. So let's get cracking here. Some of these may have to end up being skipped. I haven't read any of them, but I'm just saying by the nature of them, as Volcano aptly pointed out, a couple weeks old, some of them might just be walked over here. We'll see. Paco Luigi.
very quick too.
Yeah. Paco Luigi writes, salutations, human waste. Wow. Pacho Man Randy Savage apologizes to no man but Pacho Man Randy Savage regrets to inform the audience that the minimum PC specs for Halo Infinite are beyond the Savage rig's capabilities. For the time being, you two are spared the humiliation of an endless loop of teabagging. Pacho Man out. P.S. What are your favorite things about Thanksgiving? Yeah, this is old. And my apologies for Pacho Man's antics. He's a loose cannon, but he means well. Much love and oh yes, Paco.
Matt, what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
My new favorite thing, obviously the food.
But I know what it is.
My new favorite thing is our Thanksgiving offs. I just that's our we go into our group chat. We have a huge group where we send our meals. And I was getting fucking killed this year for my meal.
Got murdered.
I was getting destroyed to the point where I sent Paul like 8 texts in a row in all caps yelling at him. I was like, you're being a dick. Fuck you.
It was so funny.
I was upset. Matt, I was distraught.
You were struggling. You're like grabbing at straws, trying to make fun of my mashed potatoes, which looks like generic.
I had to deflect a little bit. I was under attack by the whole group.
His arguments were falling apart because he was making fun of our friend Vinny's plastic plate or paper plate, but then he sends a picture of his paper plate. Like Matt was falling apart at the seams for this Thanksgiving discussion. It was pretty funny. He pulled the sympathy card with like one of his meals was like a family recipe. Like
my grandma wasn't around anymore. I was just because I had creamed onions and Soul was calling them cummed onions, and I was like, Soul, bro, that was my grandma's recipe, bro. I was like, she passed, man. He's like, oh fuck. I was like, yeah, bro, you're a dick for coming at my recipe like that.
Matt just really had to
give me something.
Give me something.
Yeah, I had to go into damage control mode. But that's my favorite part of the year. I actually genuinely look forward to that part of the holiday because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Mine is, besides that, just kind of generic, being with family, especially for me this year. I saw a lot of family that I haven't seen in years, and it was really fun. So that's another good one.
All right, pen. Yeah. Sorry, you go ahead and read. I completely overrode you there.
That's okay. Yo Wham Ham Boys, in your humble opinion, what is the better game? Final Fantasy VII Remake, base game, or Tales of Arise? Currently playing through FF7, and I'm loving it, and I'm looking to pick up Tales of Arise after FF7. Have a wet sock kind of day. # try Crocs today.
No.
Dude, I want to try the fuzzy Crocs.
Fuzzy ones didn't look bad. I can respect those.
They look kind of comfy, but I'll go ahead and answer. I dropped Tales of Arise, and I love 7 Remake, so that's my answer. Matt, your turn.
I think Tales of Arise is a more complete offering. I do think the story can fall off a little bit at the end of Tales of Arise, but otherwise I think the end game content, gameplay, characters, most of the main story all combines for something really impressive, where I think 7 Remake is really good, but I think the ending is a little dangerous. Not that I disliked it. I think it's dangerous, though, and there are some environments that I thought were pretty poor in this game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the traversal between like those scrap heaps, there's parts of this game that felt really old and like it had been in development forever, which it had been. So I got to go with Tales of Arise here. Not even recency bias. I've been away from the game for 3 months now, I think, exactly. So I would definitely err on the side of 7 Remake. Okay.
All right.
We got Forged Horizons here. All right, let's hit the ham fam with a question. What's the pettiest reason you've ever stopped playing a game you enjoyed, excluding stuff like lack of time, etc.? Something that actively made you want to stop playing. For me, my pettiest reason to quit a game was the door textures in Final Fantasy VII Remake. They were just so abhorrent that it completely took me out of the game every time I played. So I got about 10 hours in, woke up in Cloud's apartment, looked at the door, and just quit the game. I've heard they fixed it, but until I get a PS5 or it comes to PC, look at the timing of that. See, waiting on you guys is good. Right? I'm not going to play Final Fantasy VII Remake again. So yeah, pettiest reason to quit a game. And it looks like Forge's petty days are behind him with the Epic Games Store, unless he doesn't like that.
Wow, that's a very, very petty reason. I've quit games for some dumb fucking reasons, but that's not, I wouldn't say it's dumb, but like that's petty.
It's nearing dumb.
Yeah, no offense, Forge Horizons. I respect it. The textures in that game were absolutely abhorrent. I remember the skyboxes especially were just.
Oh my god, yeah.
They looked horrible.
Chapter
Looked
14,
like,
I think it was.
Like JPEGs in the sky level.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
Yeah.
But quitting a game, I
I
don't know.
I don't quit many games, right?
You don't really. Well, you
could remind me.
You quit playing DDLC because it was too cutesy or something. It was,
I stopped playing DDLC. We'll beat it eventually, but I genuinely stopped playing that because it was.
I bet. Yeah.
No, genuinely, like I stopped playing because I was like, this shit's boring.
Nah, see, you were trying to get to the juice before it was there. You just got to get to it. I'm telling you, Matt. As soon as you do it, it turns around. But for me,
maybe that would be my petty game quit, because right now that's like the only one I can think of that I've like picked up and dropped recently.
Okay, I guess like I don't know. For me, it would be like KOTOR 2 because my mod stopped working, but it's not
like easy to fix,
really,
but just not going to do it.
Yeah. There you go. It's like an easy fix, but I'm just not doing it. So I guess it's pretty petty. Tales of Arise was when I dropped this year, and I don't really have a reason why. I just wasn't enjoying it. So
sometimes
I was playing KOTOR 2, and the game was like bugging out, and it's because I had some mods. I had to get that Mitra Surik mod. Is that what her name is?
Yeah, Mitra Surik. Hell yeah.
Know why? There's a reason why. Yeah, no. That's it. But we have Grimblade up next, and Grimblade asks, not a question, but a point for discussion. I remember reading this question. I'm excited to get into it.
Okay.
Having now had a week to play it, I'm here to share some thoughts on Shin Megami Tensei 5. First and foremost, it is not Persona, and that is not a comparison that really should have ever been made. Much better comparison is Pokemon. If you find that the Holidays Diamond and Pearl remakes are underwhelming, consider picking up SMT5. SMT5 is a story that is no more or less than you would expect from Pokemon, with familiar but unique capture mechanics and a more traditional JRPG combat system. The world design is basically the open world Pokemon we've always wanted. People are sleeping on this game because of unfair comparisons to a game that shares a coat of paint, but not much else. It's not for everyone, but if you're a big Pokemon fan and you're disappointed in the direction the series is going, give this one a shot. Matt, I'm going to go answer this because I have a controversial opinion for the SMT5 Persona comparisons.
Sure. Okay. Let's hear it.
I think there's some credibility to them. Purely because a lot of people look at SMT and they know that Persona is a spin-off of it, and they assume that SMT is going to be a lot like Persona. And Persona is much more popular. And for that reason, I feel as if comparing SMT, not in a way where you're saying SMT is negative because it's not like Persona, but as like a journalist, if I'm telling people about SMT, I want to make it clear to the audience that it isn't like Persona because Persona is more popular. And people need to know it isn't like Persona to know if they should pick up the game, because as a game journalist, game reviewer, your main purpose is to sell someone on a game. If you like it, you think they should buy it, right?
Right.
So if I'm comparing SMT5 to Persona, I want to do it in a way where I'm showing them, hey, this isn't like Persona. Here are their strengths. But if you're looking for this Persona stuff, it's not in there. But for the people who compared it in a negative way, saying this game is bad because it's not like Persona, I don't agree with that. I think that's not okay. But I think there's credibility to that discussion.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting point, because without even reading the write-in, I kind of went through this exact same beat. I picked up Diamond and Pearl famously in our group. I played it for a couple hours, and what's so
Matt
funny?
lied about being on the first gym.
I did not. And what's so funny is I got so much shit in our group for dropping Diamond and Pearl, and guess who only got 4 hours in and hasn't played it in 2 weeks? That's right, our good friend Vinny, who was leading the charge on killing me, spreading the bad word in the group that Matt did not like Pokemon and didn't give it a chance. He has double my playtime, which was 2 hours. So I got 2 hours into Diamond and Pearl, and I went, nope, this ain't it. Underwhelming. Even if they market it as it was, which I think is good, I thought nostalgia could capture me, and that would have been it. I'm happy the way it played out, though, because I did go to SMT5 afterwards, and I said it before, like it really did capture what I think like the unique. I mean, I got to take Grimblade's words here, because of the unique capture mechanics, a traditional JRPG combat system that works very well, and the ability to be like, you know what, I'm going to use my Magatsui and I'm going to ramp it up and I'm going to attack 8 times this turn. It works really well. It's just a really sound game. and the open world stuff really clicked with me. So, you know, it worked out. I think it enhanced my enjoyment because I knew I just went from what is really one Pokemon game to another in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
really good stuff.
I got the, I don't know if I think I handed it off to be wrapped up and thrown into the under the Christmas tree, but I have the steelbook for SMT5. It looks
beautiful.
really cool.
It's beautiful.
And I wasn't going to pick it up originally because I kept saying, like, you know, I like Persona for Persona, and SMT doesn't have those aspects. But when I watched you play it and I saw some gameplay online, I'm like, man, this actually looks really fun.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be my next big JRPG because I'm still playing through Trails of Cold Steel 1. Got to finish that.
It's a great. When I say mindless RPG, usually that's like an insult, but it's great in the sense that there is a little bit of grinding in this game. But like when we're in call together, you'll just see me running around fighting, and it's a lot of fun. And like I'll just level up real quick. It doesn't take too long, but like it's allowed me to really just soak it in and take my time, get all the demons, and fuse as many as I can together. Try to complete the compendium, level up. Like I'm almost max level now. And it's been fun because of that. I've been really enjoying it, just kind of taking my time, trotting through this game, and I'm almost done with it. But, yeah, I think you'll like it because we always talk about how we have games we play in call and we play games out of call. Like narrative games don't work in call because we're all talking.
Yeah.
This is a game that, because it's not too story intensive, you know what to expect. The gameplay, like, you really just dial in for boss fights. But otherwise, at least you're playing on casual like I am.
I like that,
though. Yeah, you can kind of just chop through it. Still a difficult game the whole way through, but it's manageable where like it's really easy to pick up and play, I think, for someone like us.
Cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, I'm excited into it.
We got some from Natural Calamity. Natural, you've done 2 double submissions. I am going to tolerate it because I know we fell behind, though. Hello,
Yeah.
Weeping Ham Boys. Because there is no way you can tell me you didn't tear up just a little bit at Microsoft's presentation. The moments of pride I felt and sorrow for how far we have come. Xbox has fell and risen anew over the past 10 years. I think it's supposed to say 20. And I am here for it. Now, I know you know the drill questions from the man with too many questions, but not enough answers. The first question. This is the first Xbox event I have left more excited than I have came. That is a problem. Now, I am not saying that I didn't enjoy this one. I really enjoyed the event, but I want to feel this feeling more often. I feel most of their events are half-baked and kind of dead reveals or information. What is a way that Microsoft can fix this? I think the fix is kind of in the show you liked. Short, simple, to the point. There was a half hour long for the. He's talking about the anniversary event for those who are wondering.
Yeah, that was a good. That was a good show.
Just nice, simple, to the point. They had some nostalgia there. Says 70 back-and-back games. Halo's out now. Boom. Like, it was done in a half hour. Didn't overstay its welcome. Although the Game Awards, which did. So I think that's it. I think it's about length, about time wasted. But even then, you get the state of play, which sucks, and that's 20 minutes. So at a certain point, it always is going to come down to content. But it's about how that's paced and what's there to show. And I agree. I once I finished this Game Awards, it was particularly bumming because I was like, when was the last time I walked away outside of the PlayStation Showcase for obvious fucking reasons? When was the last time I walked away and was like charged up? I think that and the anniversary event. But other than that, it's really hard to remember a time I walked away like, yo, that was it. That was an event, man. Like, I love that. I'll always remember that. It's probably been since PlayStation's E3 conference in 2013 before they dropped the PS4. Like, that was a legendary one. That was a legendary one. There have been great ones in between. Of course, Bethesda's E3 2015. I think of Xbox this year was all right at E3. I thought a lot of people love them, so I don't want to count that out. But there were a lot of good ones. But this to me, it's inconsistent.
This year or something that had like God of War in it, and I think the Star Wars reveal for KOTOR. I don't know if that was a state of play or what.
That was the PlayStation Showcase I was referring to. That's the one that I said like I walked away like.
Yeah, that was a banger.
That was a really good one.
Really like that one.
I'm with you on that.
We have another question from Natural Calamity. Matt, you want to read it out?
Sure. Halo is going to do wonders for Microsoft in the department of having no games, but that still leaves Fable and many other promised releases. Where are they? Did they disappear? Did Phil do an oopsies? Or did the Game Awards get more stacked, possibly more exciting for that? And that's
not quite.
This is great, right? This is great. So where did they go? We know where Hellblade is. And the others are I'm sure they're tucking them away for E3. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Nope. Just Game Awards was disappointing. That's about it.
Yeah.
Up next we have Daylight. Hey Hambinos, question for you. with the soon-to-be official rollout of Xbox Cloud Gaming across all consoles for Game Pass Ultimate, I wanted to get your thoughts on the service as it stands now. I've been using the service for a couple of months, switching between my tablet and recently.
Just so you know, your internet's definitely taking a dump right now. So, yeah, just a heads up on that. I'll read them until it does fix a little bit. But
yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, no problem. Just to let everyone know, the question was, in short, DataLate asked if our thoughts on xCloud, the rollout, and how he's been using it a ton between his tablet and as the service stands now. So, for me personally, as Paul gets his internet straightened out, for me, Xbox Cloud Gaming is...
I think it's fixed.
Okay, good shit. It's in a spot where people are finally starting to embrace it. Like, it's cool to hear like the general consumer is trying it out. And I think that can only mean good things for its growth in the future. I've played on my phone a little bit. Actually, I messed around the other night, and I was laying in bed, and I said, you know what? I want to play Blinks the Time Sweeper. Let me fire up Xbox Cloud Gaming on my phone and just see what happens, because it was touch-based. I said, let me give it a shot. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed and grab the controller. It was like 2 a.m. And so I'm doing the touch-based controls, and I'm like, this actually plays well. And I realized, like, my wireless internet isn't that good. My phone's a 10S, so the wireless adapter in there is pretty old, not that great. And I'm like, this is running smooth. Like, this is beautiful. And I'm playing it all on my phone. Like, granted, original Xbox game, so nothing crazy. But to me, that was a moment. I was like, that was a defining moment. I was thinking, I just fired that up. And I fired up after that. Was it MLB The Show? It was Fable, I think. Some game that had touch controls as well. And that was running well. And I was like, okay, so it's not just the original Xbox. It was a really cool moment. So I think it's in a solid spot. And what's amazing, it's so early. Like, we got to remember, this rolled out, I'm trying to rack my brain on this. I want to say April or May. But I remember trying for the first time, and it was laggy. And now it's come so far. So I really dig it. And I remember, Paul, you tried it out as well on your home internet when I was trying it. Have your thoughts developed since then?
Well, as you just witnessed, my internet can be really shitty sometimes, especially in my bedroom. When it's like connected to, like, I connect to my computer for devices in my bedroom because my router is so far away. I don't know if I'm still lagging.
No, right now you're good. Right now you're good. I'll let you know.
So anyway, yeah, if my internet keeps cutting out, I apologize. Sometimes it just randomly happens. But I played Banjo-Kazooie, and it was phenomenal. Like, the quality was solid. I noticed like very minimal input delay on like small occasions, and I'm pretty sure that was my internet. Right. And no, I was surprised with how crazy good it was working, because from what I understood, you had to have like really, really wild internet to be able to stream games. So it's exciting that this is becoming a thing, and if this infrastructure develops more and becomes more popular and just gets innovated more and becomes quicker, this could be something we see like for people like who can't get their hands on a PS5 or Series X, right?
Right.
That's like the big takeaway from it.
I agree. It's really impressive. So excited to see how that grows. Let's talk to Shibe. If it's cool, just for now, to make sure your internet's good, I'll just read this next one, and then we'll start alternating again.
Totally. Totally fine.
Hey there, honey baked boys. Hope you've been having a spectacular week. I've been having an awesome time beating the Outer Worlds and diving into Halo 5 before Infinite comes out. Also, I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, but I jumped into the Halo multiplayer last night, and I'm having an absolute blast. My buddies and I synced up our 3 controllers to his Series X, and we all played online split screen on his TV. It was such an amazing nostalgic feeling I hadn't felt since I was a preteen sitting around the TV having one of those classic game nights with the boys. So for my question, is there a game that you adore that most of the gaming community would consider meh by people's standards? My pick is Dark Sector. I remember a lot of people playing that game and giving it some flack, but I personally couldn't get enough of it. Thank you for all you guys do. P.S. Matty, have you played Disco Elysium yet? The fact that I haven't seen a video on your channel freaking out about this RPG is honestly a crime against humanity. Yeah, this is one I'm gonna re-review in 2020, or 2022, I mean. So I will be on that. I promise. I know I was going to do it this year, but once I saw the Switch physical was like coming out later, I was like, I'll get it then, because I do want to play this on the Switch. But as for the question, a game that you adore that most of the gaming community would consider meh by people's standards, do you have one that comes to mind right away?
For me, mine is Toontown Online. It's an MMORPG, and even I see it as like a meh game. It's like very, very bare bones, turn-based, I guess RPG-ish type mechanics where You basically, there's 4 tunes, 4 cogs, or robots that are your
Mm.
enemies. Pick between like 5 or 6 different gags, which are your attacks.
Right.
There's a healing one called Tune Up. You got Sound, which attacks all of them but doesn't do a lot of damage. Drop has low accuracy but high damage. Throw is like your average. You throw pies and shit, and squirt, you like squirt water and stuff at people.
Mm.
And it's I've got so much nostalgia with it because I grinded it out as a little kid. It's a lot of fun, but it's pretty mediocre. Like, it's very old. The combat is nothing special, but it's got a lot of charm to it that I think it's fun to go play. Like, I was playing the other day because I was showing Maya what Town was like, and it's just it's a fun game.
For me, it would be Prototype. Prototype, I remember when it came out, like, it was Prototype versus Infamous 1, and Infamous, like, dominated. Everyone was all about Infamous, and no one cared about Prototype. But I remember Prototype came out on my birthday, and I want to say 2006. That might be a little earlier. But anyway, this game I love. I love the first story because it's so weird and cheesy, and you have to connect these strands through pickups that you get by like absorbing people's bodies. It's such a strange but different game, and running around the open world, I think they used technology from the other Spider-Man games to build it, but no one really likes Prototype that much. Like, it's always considered a pretty average game. I think the second one is, but when the first one came around, it got like no love. People were not crazy about it. It's this pretty gory game where you could just turn your arm into a giant sword. You could turn it into a big hammer. You could turn it into a number of things, tendrils, and whip people around. And you'd go on rampages and beat up the military and stuff. And that was a big part of the game. But you were this normal dude with a hood on and a leather jacket. I just remember very fondly picking that game up, or not picking it up. I got it for my birthday. So yeah, I unwrapped it and I played it. And it was incredible. I really, really liked it. It had the free running. I thought was so cool. It felt so ahead of its time, and I feel like no one gave a shit about it, but I liked it.
Yeah, it's funny how people always have those games, and it's funny because I'll go and listen to like music from like an old game, and they're like on YouTube, and the comments are always like, "This game was so amazing," blah blah blah, and like one of those like Ape Escape 3. Like, I think Ape Escape 3 is an awesome game, but it's not like a groundbreaking. This game is what people are going to be studying for, for like ages. It's funny. It's funny how games end up like that.
This is all you. I think your internet's good.
Okay, cool. David Portnov writes in, "Hi, Matt and Kopi. I had planned to call in live this week, but I'm recovering from a spinal fusion surgery I had exactly a week ago, so I can't quite do that with my current setup. Well, David, I hope your recovery is quick,
yes,
and painless. Anyway, what are some of your favorite books or book series, either fiction or nonfiction? I just got back into reading through discovering BookTube last August, and it's been a good reading for fun again after having graduated from college a few years ago. I've been getting heavily into modern sci-fi and fantasy myself with Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn trilogy, Dune, and now The Wheel of Time. This is an interesting question from David because Maya and I were at a bookstore and I almost picked up Lord of the Rings, but it was like all 3 of them are in one book, and I want to get like them separately just because weird.
I get that.
But for me, one that comes to mind when I was a little kid, I love the Cat series. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, Matt.
The what cat series?
Warrior Cats.
No, I've never heard of it.
People in chat might know. It's like I guess it was like a preteen like fiction, and there's these 4 clans of cats that live in the forest, and they all fight, and there's like drama between them. It's I don't know how to explain it, but they're like cats living in the wild, and they sort of like emulate like lions and tigers, blah blah blah. And there's like some like spirituality stuff in there. It was something I read a lot in middle school, and I was like hooked to it.
I remember that reminds me rather of Animorphs, I think it's called, which
Animorphs.
Yeah, it's like a story about like humans that can turn into animals. It was so popular in my school. I thought it kind of looked silly, but let's think here. I've been doing a decent amount of reading this year compared to other ones, which is still not enough, but I read most of, oh my gosh, this book name is going to bother me. We'll start off with the one I remember. I read most of Light of the Jedi. I kind of fell off that a little bit, and then I picked up this, oh my god, what was it called? It's about Joe Slocum, who's this like sailor kind of going around. Hold on, Joe Slocum.
Is it Slocum Joe's like a donut shop in Fallout?
Yes. Yes,
funny.
it is. Joe Slocum.
Is that why you picked it up?
No, it's oh my god, this is gonna bother me. It was a book that was in the Starfield trailer. and it was, let's see here. This is really gonna bug me, so I'm gonna go to the length of looking it up. Identified the 2 books on from the trailer. Let's see here. Reddit, come through clutch. Sailing Around the World by Joshua Slocum, not Joe Slocum. And it's about Captain Joshua Slocum completing a venture where he goes from like one end of the coast to the other in this little boat that he like built himself. Not the most honestly intriguing read, I thought. So I eventually just went like, all right, I'm done with this one. And I read a poem book a friend sent me. I read that entirely this year. I thought that was pretty good because I'm not usually into poems, but it was a modern one. And so it's interesting when you're reading what like modern writers are putting into their poems. Like there were poems about the pandemic and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Versus, what you read in school, which is like Romeo, Juliet, like this, shit you don't really care about. So it was easier to get into because it was more synced up with the time period, I realized. And the next one I'm hoping to read is funny you bring up Lord of the Rings because I want to read The Hobbit. So
yeah,
that's kind of next.
Have you read Lord of the Rings? Or are you just
no,
like jumping straight to The Hobbit?
Hobbit is in the beginning, and then Lord of the Rings comes after. So I want to start there and read The Hobbit. So
Matt, I'll hop on The Hobbit with you. I want to read that.
Yeah, I do too. Like Colin, our good friend Colin, hyping it up a little bit.
He's a book guy.
Yeah, he's a book guy, but he's also like he got me into Lord of the Rings again. Like my brother's big into it, and I remember when I was talking to him about it, I was like, man, I love Lord of the Rings. Like this shit's so good. Mm-hmm. So that was one of them. And last one was the Descenders comics, which this isn't a book, but just the Descenders comics need to be shouted out. Like they're really good. I recommend anyone look into them if they are looking for a cool sci-fi story that is pretty grim.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Good question from was that Natural Calamity? I'm like
that was David Portnoy. Nope. That was
David Portnoy. Wow. My thing's all messed up. Okay. We have Grimblade up next, Matt. I think it's your turn to read.
Yeah. We're nearing the end here. We got 3 left. I guess this is double dipping with questions since my previous one got pushed to this week. So answer or not at your own whim. We're going to do that. Don't worry. We got you guys covered. What is a restaurant, fast food, or sit down that serves food that is so bland that you can't understand why people like it? Going to upset a lot of Southerners here, but Chick-fil-A is hella mid.
Get out, Grim. Get out. Chick-fil-A is like the best fast food. I'm sorry. It's just facts. Their chicken is just phenomenal.
I think their sauce is amazing. I buy their sauce separately and
dip.
The
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm not a big fan of sauce, but I've tried it and it's good.
It's so good. But I'm gonna throw one out there that I don't think people will be happy with either. Chipotle.
Really?
Not really big on Chipotle. I've tried it. I remember it was before it came to the East Coast. This was a big California thing, and it was like you could only get it there. So I remember Connor and I, we went to a Far Cry 4 event. And we walked from, there was this World Series game with San Francisco and the Giants and someone else. I forgot who played them. It was the Royals, I think. And I remember after the game finished, we went to go find food. And so we walked for miles to find this Chipotle. And I ate it and I was like, this is all right. Like it was the novelty of getting Chipotle that was more exciting than actually the food itself. So that would be my pick personally. Like there's a Chipotle near me and there's a lot of hype around it. It was a big deal when it came here and I was like, it's not that great. So have fun. But
we have a place called Moe's, which is kind of like Chipotle, but it's a lot better. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know if I have an answer for this, for something that people like hype up and it's not that good. Let's see, fast food, whatever.
I think the Chinese buffet has lost their allure over the years. I used to be a big Chinese buffet guy as a kid. I feel like over the years, I don't really get it. It's like, I guess, with the pandemic, it makes it worse. Like any open served food, like people sticking their hands in it. I'm just like, look, this was gross to me pre-pandemic as I grew up. And now it's like really fucking nasty watching you guys like, and in your hands and then like scoop out some food onto your plate. It's like, dude, really? So I feel like it's another one I'm going to throw out there.
I had some KFC like a few months ago, and I remember people saying like KFC is like the best chicken. Because, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it was mid as hell.
That's an interesting one. Yeah. I used to really like KFC.
It kind of tasted a little bad. I had
it tasted a little bad.
Yeah, like I got their fries and like I think a biscuit and some sort of chicken or whatever, and it just wasn't that good. I don't know. KFC. Natural Calamity. Hello, Maddie, the man I wouldn't want to stand behind at CVS, and Kopi, the fellow weird kid in class. It's been a few weeks, but I have a question saved up, so let's get into them. Question. Halo Infinite is a godsend. It's just a time when I am in between games and I have nothing. Now here I am with 40 hours. Wow. That's almost like, I think I'm like right below that. A lot of laughing and fun, probably the most fun I've had with a multiplayer, but this is all fun without playing with the mic and making my own fun. That's really interesting.
It's awesome.
I don't have the squad. I don't have those to get on every day, and we are itching to play. How do I get this needed element in my life? I hear COG having so much fun with big team battle, but don't have that big team. Help me, hand boys.
Ooh.
Join a random Discord.
That was gonna be my answer.
For a random Discord. Like you can go on the server browser for Halo or whatever. Just make friends with people. I mean, join people in game chat. I have like a bunch of friends that I met through Xbox and stuff, and it's just sort of like you'll meet them and you'll start talking to them. It just kind of happens. It's like you click. Mm-hmm. You can't force it. But it happens. Matt, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, I think just the Discord suggestion, like get into a community. Our community here, like I'm not even trying to promote it so people like pay and join, but like I couldn't join because I was editing the Halo Infinite review, but funny enough. But they got together and got a big team battle going. Like, Natural, please, by all means, hop into the server. I know Sean Mason. I know Grim was playing. I think Paco was playing. Everyone was in on it. Like, Coach Blue was in there. They're amazing guys. I've talked to each of them. They've obviously joined our show in the past. Pardon me, I highly recommend that you try our server if you're looking for a community to play with. But if not, and that's fine if you don't, there's plenty out there that will play with you and assemble the big team battle.
And then question number 2 is question for the weebs wondering this exact question, because it's not like I spent hours thinking about this question. Plan your perfect date with your waifu.
I'm good.
Where are you taking her to eat? Where do you sweep her feet? The date will be the deciding factor if you two live happily ever after. Tell me how you woo your wife. Matt, you got to do this.
Is this what, my girlfriend?
Sure, if you're taking Laylee on the perfect date.
I think about let's see here. Her and I value Japan a lot, so I would want to be there. That would be definitely my pick. Going to Japan, I think something along the lines of a nice romantic walk through the cherry. Oh my god!
Yeah,
cherry trees or cherry blossom. Thank you. I was like, what are they? It's like the word I was missing. Cherry blossom.
The sakura, yeah.
Yeah, like a walk through there, a good meal, that type of thing. And I think I would take her to like I think One Piece has their own museum or something. I would want to take her there too. I feel like that's the place I could complete the big day with her.
Wow.
So I that's where I'm leaning.
I could go 2 directions with this. I have my lovely friend and she's not in my room anymore. I think she's with my mom or something back there. I could plan a perfect date for us, or I could plan a perfect date with one of my many waifus. In good spirit of Maya, and I got to follow up Matt here. He set the bar, so I'm gonna go with Maya. See, if we're going on a date, she like makes fun of me for how much I like Japan. She thinks like she's like, you romanticize it too much. I'm like, yeah, I get it, I do, but where would I take her? I think I'd want to take Maya to a nice, what? Got it. We're going to Hawaii. All right, nice Hawaiian vacation. She's gonna wear a beautiful sundress. I'm gonna wear a nice button-up, hibiscus floral patterned shirt with some nice board shorts, probably khaki. We got some sandals on. And we're gonna walk through our nice. We're gonna be at a very expensive resort. We're gonna walk down the beach. Tiki torches lit. I'm thinking we go to Luau. Maybe get some drinks. I'm not a drinker. She's not either. But it's a special occasion.
Non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah. No. I think I'm going out.
Oh, okay. You're going out. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. But some Hawaiian, like I'm talking some island drinks, if you will.
In the coconut.
Some like fruit, maybe like some like fruit flavored margarita or something.
Sure.
And then to cap it all off, we're gonna have like a relaxing night in the pool, maybe the hot tub.
Yeah.
And then the nice Hawaiian vacation. Oh, and then the day after we're exploring forest.
Love that.
Whatever. Yeah. I really want to go to Hawaii. Hawaii and Japan are like 2 places that.
Interesting. I never thought of Hawaii. Yeah.
Well, you know what inspires it, Matt? Pokemon Sun. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why, but I just want to go because of that game.
I like that.
And then obviously, anime and Persona make me want to go.
Of course. Pen and Pant Super Chats, try Crocs today.
Yeah. Pen and Pant, one day, I want to try out the fuzzy Crocs.
We'll make it a big deal.
I think they're worthwhile. My sandals, because my sister's boyfriend has some, and you can get little like attachments. I don't know what they're called, but he had like Bling Pro on his Crocs. You know what I'm saying? Like that MW2 perk.
Yeah.
He had some like cool little like things on there. I think they have anime ones and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just found it interesting. Riddick Wolf also wrote in chat, trying to live in Japan isn't the cool dream it used to be. Trust me. It's hard, especially if you are moving over there. It's like, I don't think I'll ever move there. I think I'd vacation for a long time there, though, for sure.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think my life would flip upside down way too much to live there. Unless I got like everyone was dead, everyone was gone. That's when I'd be like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to go live somewhere else then, I guess. But otherwise, like, I don't need to turn my life upside down.
There's a lot going on in Japan that it's just too much of a change for what I'm used to. So I wouldn't want to live there. But dude, if I had like an infinite amount of funds, I could go for a nice month-long vacation all throughout.
Yep.
And that'd be amazing.
I agree. All right, we got one final question, and then it's time for us to get some food. BR Blurry writes in, what up, ham boners? My question for you both this week is, what are your thoughts on Rocksteady's Suicide game? Coming off the back of the latest gameplay trailer from the Game Awards, is it just me, or does this game just come across as bland? I'm a huge fan of the entire Arkham series, and having replayed them all multiple times, I couldn't wait to see what was next for the studio. When Suicide Squad was first revealed, I was pretty disappointed initially, but kept my hopes up for a full gameplay trailer. However, every time we see something new from the game, I grow less and less hyped. At the moment, after seeing the trailer, I think I'm going to fully skip it until it's in a mega sale and a dry period of games years down the line. I can't quite put my finger on what I don't like about it. The tone seems very Sunset Overdrive, which I loved. Presumably, it will take combat from Arkham series, which I love. And I'm a pretty big DC fan, so on paper, this should be great and an easy sell for me, but I don't know, man. It just looks kind of bad. Am I alone in this? What are your guys' thoughts on this one? I don't think it looks bad, but I agree. But here, I want to hear your thoughts. You were about to say something.
I don't think it looks bad. I do agree that it looks very, very, very mid. Like, it looks, I'm like not interested in it purely because it just doesn't look like it's going to be anything special to me. It just looks like it's not one of a kind. I'm not like, oh, this actually looks different. It just, based on what we've seen in the gameplay, it just looks like more of what we're used to. Maybe not from Rocksteady necessarily, but I don't know. It just hasn't grabbed me in a way where this is going to be different.
It looked like a third-person shooter.
Yeah, like it did.
I think it's that blurry. I get why you don't like it, because I think it's that. I think if you've seen anything from Avengers, this game in structure, it had more verticality, but in structure, it reminded me a lot of it, because if you noticed, it didn't look fully open world. Maybe I'm wrong. I can totally be wrong on this. But it didn't look fully open world. It looked like a nice open level where you'd go in, you and your team would do a couple objectives, and you'd be out of there. Like, it looked like that kind of drop-in, mission-based activity. Which again, with after Avengers, it's like, I don't want a superhero game like that. And especially from Rocksteady, who's like the defining pillar of what made comic book games worth doing, I think. Like, they were right there at the heart of it. Again, as we've heard in rumors, we've heard live service rumors, or elements being in this game. And this game, just the way it's showing, continues to, I think, head in that direction. And then I thought the game looked a little colorless for such an interesting cast. So across the board for me, like, I'm way more excited for Gotham Knights, and I say that unapologetically. So, like, I think what they're doing, it's not even because it's familiar. Like, they're doing something different. It's 4-player or 4 different protagonists, 2-player co-op, open world, Batman game. Batman's apparently dead. I'm about that. Like, you play as Red Hood. That sounds amazing to me. Suicide Squad, where you kill the Justice League, can be cool if it's really gory. But otherwise, like, I think that novelty can wear off, and what you have here is like this servicey type game, and it's like, it reminds me of BioWare. It's like, we're not looking for this from you. We're looking at you for good superhero games that are in a single player space. But here we go. Here comes the Reach. We'll see if it succeeds. But I really think it's blurry. In short, I think it's because it mirrors a lot of what Avengers is: third person, a lot of shooting, and those mission based structures. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't think you're alone.
I agree. I think like you hit the nail on the head with the live service. It's not what we want, but it's what we're getting. I feel like that's pretty much anytime we get a game from a company that's live service, or no, not a company, but a game genre that isn't typically live service, but we're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not what we want, but it's what we're getting is a perfect way to describe it. Like Fallout 76 is another good example.
It's just happening. Here we go.
Roll with it. It's horrible. Fortnite's influence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all we've got for this week's show. We appreciate all of you who wrote in. Thank you again for your patience as we got through those write-ins. Thank you to everyone who tuned in live for episode 11 of Ham Radio Live. Paul, any closing thoughts, or shall we wrap it up?
I think it's time to wrap it up. It was a great show. I loved all of our tap-ins. I'm glad we got through our patron questions. We got a clean slate for next week.
Yep.
No worries at all.
We're good for the holidays. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into episode 11 of Ham Radio Live, and we'll catch all of you next week for episode 12. Peace out.